Good evening and welcome to the finals for the 2024 Dock Masters Championship. We're here at Boulder Hall Energy Haven in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and we are about 40 minutes away from the start of the finals of this year's event. As you can see, the people are waiting eagerly to get into the gym. We've got them behind the rope. We're going to fill this space up in about probably 15 minutes. The boulders on the wall, just getting their final tweaks by the route setting crew. They run a very short time frame from the end of the qualifying or the recreational round that was on earlier today. They've got to strip and set all the finals boulders. They're almost done. There's ladders are still everywhere, drills, lots of talking still going on. They'll have that buttoned up by the time we're ready to go. Presentation of the athletes is going to be at about 6:45, and we're going to run right into it. Right now, we're going to head up to isolation and see if we can get a couple of athletes to talk to us about what they're expecting to see in the final, how their semifinal went yesterday. Let's go have a chat. Walk through the gym here. A little easier than yesterday because we haven't let the people in yet. We'll see you guys in a minute. We'll get the energy up in here. It was wild in here last night. DJ was killing it. Light show was killing it. And fantastic climbing on the semifinal boulders yesterday. We went from 20 semifinalists down to 6 finalists climbing tonight. 6 best men, 6 best women from the weekend. And I'll tell you, we have some real heavy hitters in the lineup tonight. So we put them in isolation. They've been in here for a little while. They do get to see the boulders when they come out, but we don't want them to have too much extra time. So we got them in isolation warming up. This is one of the best warm-up areas you're gonna see. This is World Cup level warm-up facility. If you weren't with us yesterday, we'll walk you right through it. Over in the corner, we got a hangboard, campus board, moon board, a couple of different angles to climb on. They can set super hard boulders in here if they need to. They want to get warm enough to go ready to climb. The thing about finals format is they have 4 minutes plus to try the boulder, and then they sit and wait for each other climber. So they get about 20, 25 minutes rest between each boulder. That lets them work a little harder, gives them more rest time. So their warm-up's going to be a little bit different than it was yesterday when they were on the 5 on, 5 off. You got to get that flash pump out of your system. Here they have a chance to recover after their attempt and before their next boulder starts. Let's see if we can catch a few interviews. There's a few people kicking around. You see them all warming up here. There's only 12 of them in here, so they got a little bit more space this time. Let's see if we can have someone to have a chit-chat with. Greg, can we have a chat with you? Yeah, excellent. Gregor, congratulations for making it into the finals at Dock Masters. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thanks. Feeling good. I'm psyched to be back at comps. It's the first comp of the season. So yeah, it's always good to be back. And the atmosphere yesterday was really good. The boulders were good. So yeah, all good.
Did you have a favorite boulder from yesterday's semifinal?
I mean, it's got to be the slab, right? Like the last one. It's always going to be the slab for me. Even though it was kind of easy. But yeah, it just felt good.
I'll say that your send-up boulder 2, the white boulder, which was a nightmare across the board, was really clean. You looked, I mean, maybe you didn't feel solid, but you looked really solid on it. Did you enjoy that boulder? When you turned around and saw it, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
I mean, honestly, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to hold holds, which is it's not my favorite style, okay, but yeah, I felt all right. Yeah, the feet were quite good. The holds weren't that good, but the feet were good, so I guess, yeah, that worked for me. Yeah.
So if you want to make World Cup climbers fall off, you just have to give them holds to hold on to, and then they don't like it, they get upset. This is essentially kind of, you've been resting over kind of the holiday, and you've started training a little bit. You treat this as a tune-up, or how far into your training, and where do you kind of sit with this event?
Yeah, so I started training in the beginning of November, I guess. I think so. So yeah, this is like kind of the first tune-up. We have selections in like a month, so this is like a nice get to see what's missing, what's there already. So yeah.
And a chance to maybe take home some euros.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I'm excited to see you climb in the final. I love your style of climbing. I've been a fan of yours for a while, so I'm excited to see what you can do. I've seen the boulders, so I'm ready to see what you can put down. Good luck, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks for the support.
Absolute class, one of my favorite World Cup competitors. Let's see if we can get, I want to talk to Stasa for just 1 minute, unrelated. Stasa, come here for 1 second. We're not even going to talk about climbing. No. Yesterday, I was complaining to Stasa about riding my bicycle here because there's a big long hill from where we're staying, the Bridge Hill, and it's kind of a nightmare. And on the first day and the second day, I got passed by like grandmothers and children, and then I said I couldn't get my bike to go from second gear down to first gear, and you figured it out.
Yeah, because I had the same problem. I already know from last year that bridge is a nightmare when you don't cycle it often. And I remember that you told me that at breakfast, and I tried to downshift, and it still kept being in the third gear, and I'm like, why, there has to be a trick. And then I just started pedaling in the other direction. And then this is how I figured out this is how you can downshift, and yeah, that's the best thing you learned this weekend, right?
That is 100% the best thing I learned. It has nothing to do with climbing. The best beta from last year's Dock Masters winner was about how to downshift the bicycle on the long hill. Stasa, I'll let you get back to warming up. Thanks for that, and good luck. I hope to see you back near the top of the podium this year as well.
On the top, man. What near? Jeez.
I don't want to jinx anything. I don't like to jinx anything. On the top, near the top, close enough. It's a real thing. Bicycles are everywhere here. Bicycling from the hotel and back, it's actually been a really good way to get starting your day. It's kind of fun. Let's see if we can snag one more person. 1 second. You have 2 minutes to chat with us?
For sure.
Okay, awesome. Slava, how are you feeling? Is this your first Dock Masters, and what's your process been so far?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm quite excited, but but not nervous, I would say. That's my second Dock Masters. Last time I finished on the semifinals. I think on the 10th place, something like that. So now I'm in finals and ready to fight. I hope it will be amazing.
You climbed so well yesterday. You looked in control the whole time. Do you have a favorite? Or do you prefer steep? Do you prefer slab? Do you like pinchy blocks? What's your kind of, if you were to set 4 boulders that you would crush, what would they look like?
Okay, for now I would answer the way that I'm quite tired, exhausted, so I don't like overhang right now. So it would be perfect that all the boulders will be the slabs.
You and Gregor. Gregor said the same thing. He doesn't like to grab anything and pull on it. He just wants to use his technique and his skill. What's the rest of your season? We're at the beginning, essentially, of this season. What are you looking forward to in 2024?
Actually, I'm looking forward into a lot of rock climbing. So I didn't do a lot of rock climbing before, so I want to start the season from the Fontainebleau in March, and probably some more trips in the future. So just rocks and comps to having fun.
Amazing. I mean, that's one of the best ways to treat comps is having fun. I'm immediately jealous of any time spent in Font. It's one of my favorite climbing areas. Good luck out in the finals. I'm sure you're going to climb as well as you did yesterday, if not better.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
The right way to approach competitions is to have that killer spirit, but not have your whole identity tied to it. I love that answer. I love that competitions are good for having a good time and focusing on rocks. So not everybody at the Dock Masters is a professional climber. We have a lot of very strong climbers, but a lot of outdoor climbers who compete off and on. So not everybody's a World Cup climber in here, and I love that balance. That's why an event like this is so cool, because you get people with different perspective. Let's see if we can catch one more, and then we'll be on our way. We don't want to like interrupt too much, right? Normally we're not in here. It's like isolation is that place where the athletes get to be removed from the media because, you know, they spend all of their climbing in the public eye. So they want to have a space where there isn't someone with the cell phone and the camera going to post on social media if they're like taping up an injury, or they want to have, you know, a nap on the mat. So this is the kind of, we're in the safe space. So it's a privilege for us to be in here for sure, but it's also really nice to talk to the athletes in a more relaxed comp environment. So no one's like super stressed, but there's big money on the line, so they definitely want to do well. So we'll see if we can catch Elnaz. Just 1 second. Elnaz, do you have 1 minute for an interview, or do you want to keep warming up?
Okay.
Yeah, you're okay? Amazing. Thanks for hanging out with us. Elnaz, is this your first Dock Masters or your first comp of the season?
For this season, yes. It's my first competition in 2024. I'm very excited with these too many strong climbers.
I mean, you're in that group of very strong climbers, so I think you fit right in here.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying climbing with them, and I'm in this situation because it's such a getting ready for me because of Olympic selection, and I just wanna enjoy and also focus on some tactics that are good for my most important competitions that I will have in May and June.
So you're using this as a check-in to see where you're at for kind of climbing and movement and where your training is at this point of your season?
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah.
And are you planning a schedule around the Olympic selections? Are you going to do World Cups as well, or is it mostly completely focused on what the Olympics are going to look like?
Yes, in my plan I will have a World Cup in Shanghai, bouldering and lead, and then after that going to Olympic selection.
Amazing. Well, we won't let you keep you away from your warm-up for too long. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck in the finals.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, I think that's probably good. We want to let them get to warming up. I'm going to head back to the booth, and we're going to sit down with my co-host for the evening. We're going to chat for a little bit, and then we're going to bring some route setters in to talk about the boulders. So a little more behind the scenes coming up. Grab yourself a beer. We'll be back in 1 minute.
En geloof me, in elkaar te bollen. Als ik naar die punten kijk, dan zie ik dat daar punten tussen zitten waar ik persoonlijk mijn vingers bij afdruk. Ja, vingers afdrukken bij punten ook nog. Blijf lekker zitten, hè. En je leukjes van vanavond, ze komen langs om je drankjes op te nemen. Dat is chill, hè. Heb je ooit eens bij een evenement gezeten dat ze langskomen om je drankjes op te nemen, behalve wat wij dachten? Zullen we vast even een heel klein warm applausje doen voor alle bedieningen hier, alle mensen die langskomen lopen? Kijk eens aan, kijk eens, hier, een vlak biertje bij. Dat kan je een beetje, kun je ook wat anders bestellen, Julija? Het is gewoon bier. Ja, ten eerste nu allemaal van harte welkom bij Top Masters 2024. En dit is alweer de 4e editie. 2019 zijn we begonnen, 2020 vorig jaar en dit is de 4e editie. Dus welkom allemaal en geniet ervan. Er zijn hier nog wat laatste dingetjes aan het afronden. Er worden hier nog een holz voor gepoetst. De juiste hoeveelheid plof. Dit zijn volgens mij U-turn wheels, of niet? Ja, die zwarte, waar de lamp staat, waar ze een beetje zijn aan poetsen. Dat zijn U-turn. Als ik even spieken van flat hold. Al die holds, die zijn gesponsord. Dan moet je je voorstellen dat zijn meestal klimmers, of mensen die diep in die keelzien zitten, die zelf holds gaan maken. En die denken dan bij events als dit, wow, als mijn set daarop staat, dat is wel waar. En die sponsoren zo'n hele set. En daar gaat het internationale bouwteam, die komt naar Canada, die komt uit Frankrijk, die komt naar Polen, gaan de vetste dingen in elkaar zetten voor jullie vanavond en voor de atleten. Kijk nog even goed.
All right, welcome back. We are now in the studio in our little soundproof room just above the climbing area. I'm really excited to introduce my co-host for the evening, Cloe Coscoy. Chloe, welcome to the finals broadcast.
Thank you. Yeah, super stoked to be here. The vibes are good, crowd's filling in, and psyched to watch them climbing.
And you had a good look at the boulders while they were putting them up. We're going to get to that, but there's definitely some excitement to come. The final show is generally when there's no ties from semifinals, the route setters get to take the reins off a little bit, and you get some showy boulders, some spicy boulders.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like there's a good mix of styles, playing with a lot of the same angles as yesterday. So we've got some slabs, some steeper ones, some coordination, some more powerful boulders. So I think it'll be a good mix, but really excited to see what everyone comes up with.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it too. We're going to get the route setters up here in a couple minutes for sure to talk through the boulders. We're about 15 minutes away from the presentation of the athletes. We bring them out we introduce them to the crowd, and then we give them time to preview the boulders. So 2 minutes to look at all the boulders, 2 minutes for each boulder to look at all the boulders, and we're going to talk about them in that moment. Chloe, you're a World Cup climber. In that time frame of the preview, in those 2 minutes, what are you trying to learn about the boulder? What are you focused on? It's not 2 minutes seems like a short amount of time to preview and focus on a boulder. So what's your process?
Yeah, I feel like a preview for most athletes, you're kind of doing a few different things. I mean, first and most obviously, you're trying to decide like what your beta is going to be, what kind of movements you're doing, and then usually you're chatting with the other climbers to try and kind of figure out what the options are. Maybe you're unsure about a move and you decide, oh, you could maybe do this or you could do this, and then you have some time to kind of go back and think about those. But then there's also kind of that element of getting ready for the style. So if you see that it's a slab and it's a little slow and technical, kind of emotionally and physically getting ready for that beforehand, I think is really helpful for a lot of people. So, you know, kind of getting that quick view of every boulder gives you an idea of, when I go out for the first boulder, do I need to be super fired up and ready to try really, really hard, or do I need to be more relaxed and super precise and calm on my feet and, you know, moving really well that way? And so that's, I think, a big thing that we get out of the preview, on top of, you know, just the beta and more movement things.
And it's a really interesting point that you make, is because I think to the average person watching at home, if maybe you don't follow that many competitions or watch that many World Cups, you just sort of think that you come out and all the boulders are your 100% effort all the time. But the route setters actually decide, they play around with how they want to set you up across 4 boulders. So they're making a decision about whether they're giving you the slab first, or they're giving you the slab in the middle, or the slab at the end, or whether they want to put you under physical duress early, and then they can carry that kind of fatigue through the round. So you're trying to figure out what they're trying to set you up for over the course of a final.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really depends on the round, but a lot of times we will get something like the slab first, because I think everyone gets a little nervous, like right as we're starting the round. It can be really tricky to kind of bring your heart rate down, calm down a little bit, and execute on something that's maybe not super hard, but really requires you to be precise and really focused and efficient. And then sometimes, you know, they'll go fully the other way, and you've got to be really strong and try really hard off the bat, which is hard also. So it's a balance, really depends on the round. But yeah, I'm actually not sure of the order yet, so I'm pretty psyched to see what they'll be doing down there.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see, even from watching them sort of tweak and forerun, once they're down and off the mats and the boulders are set and we bring the climbers in, then you really start to see, and the interplay between the route setters and the climbers, it's not, you know, one against the other. It's, you know, they're not trying to do anything other than create an environment in which we can decide a winner. So I love to see what their plan is, and I love to see how the climbers, you know, how they solve it. What we're going to do a little bit differently, if you watch a lot of World Cups, is we're going to revert back to the old school finals format, which is the time on each boulder is 4 minutes plus. So that means that if you pull back on the start holds, if you're established on the start with 2 seconds on the clock, you can finish that attempt. So the current World Cup rules are that when the clock hits 0, wherever you are on the boulder, you're out. This sets you up for, what coaches hate it, athletes, crowds love it, last try, best try.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us don't get an opportunity to climb with this format very often, but I think it's fun and maybe a little nerve-wracking also to know when you get on the wall with, 2 seconds left, that's it, that's your last try. Sometimes you get on with 40 seconds left and you're like, oh, maybe if I slip in the beginning, it's fine, I'll get back on and have some more time. But this one, like, you get on 10 seconds left, it's pretty clearly last go. But then you can take your time and you're not rushed, so it's kind of a funny thing to play with. It's not something we get to do so much, but I don't think that people will be too out of their element with it. It's not so different from a normal round, but definitely more exciting for the crowd, and it's cool to, when it comes down to that last try, to see if people can bring that intensity up a little bit and get some tops out, like past the 4 minutes. That's always super exciting. So
I think almost every comp that I've watched or been a part of that has 4 minutes has had at least one top out of that 4+ time, and it just adds a different layer to the whole thing. So be ready for that. you just never know.
Yeah.
The buzzer beaters are fun. We saw a couple yesterday. We saw some people matching it like when the clock at 0-0, but pulling on that 100% last try, best try is also going to add just a specific level of stress.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any no hands rests for people
my
to just
goodness.
get on, camp out all day.
Yeah, that's also a
definitely seen a few of
consideration.
those
We've seen a few
before,
of those.
yeah.
I remember the World Cup in Canmore.
Yeah.
There was a slab that you could pull on and no
You
hands.
just hang out all day.
And it took forever to
Yeah.
get through, and everybody pretty much who hadn't sent it pulled on. It was like hands behind their back, like 2, 3, 4 minutes of resting.
That's the way.
Yeah,
That's
sort
what
of.
you need.
Yeah, it's definitely the right tactics approach for the
Yeah.
athletes to do, but there's a moment where the judges and everyone else is like, is this
Like,
happening right
please
now?
start
Please
climbing."
start climbing. We know you're rested. One other thing I just want to touch on, we're going to actually go through some sponsors and things before they do the presentation of the athletes. We want to kind of get a little bit of time to get through that. But I want to ask you one other question about just finals format in general, where you have that 20-ish minutes rest. I mean, if everybody's flashing boulders, it's shorter than that. But you change your tactics in that time frame. So you might try the boulder more often than you would in the semifinal rounds, or do you kind of keep it the same? Like your fatigue level is going to be the same no matter what, or do you kind of bank on that 20 minutes rest to try a little bit harder?
I think, I mean, speaking mostly for myself, but I imagine a lot of athletes approach it the same way. I mean, when we're climbing, we have our 4 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it is. It really is one move at a time, and it's the boulder in front of you is the challenge that you have now. And it's not usually so helpful to think of, what's coming down the line, because at the end of the day, this top in front of you or the zone or whatever, that's like, in that moment, that's what you can control, and that's what's going to help you. So I think, most people, I imagine, don't really actually change their tactics too much. We do have less time in a final typically, so 4 minutes as opposed to 5 minutes. So maybe you give a few fewer goes, but in terms of intensity, like if you have to try hard to do the boulder, I think you're gonna try hard to do the boulder, regardless of what's down the line. If you have 4 minutes rest or 20 minutes rest, like right now it's this boulder, and that's what we're thinking of and focusing on. So
I think that's a perfect way to encapsulate it, and it's even something that we teach to sort of newer climbers as well, is that if you have to put 100% effort to get to the zone, then you do that, because if you don't put 100% effort, you don't get to the zone. So if you're too tired to finish the boulder, but if you don't do it, you don't get to the zone. So you actually you always have to take it as, what's right in front of me, what can I control, and everything after that is either, it's gravy or, it's what you're always fighting for. But if you're climbing at 80%, you're not going to top boulders.
yeah, exactly. Especially at a level like this, if you're not really in it, focused, ready to kind of bring your all, it's really not going to go your way. So I think
No.
everyone's going to be looking at it, boulder in front of them. They're focused on that. Once the time's over, their attempts are done, then they can kind of start to think, how much rest do I have? What do I need? But it's really, one move at a time, boulder in front of you. And I think that's usually a pretty good mindset.
Yeah, just keep forging ahead.
Yeah.
If they suddenly gave you a fifth boulder, you just come out and do it anyway.
Yeah,
You're like, I guess that's what we're
absolutely.
doing
Like,
today.
all right, we're still going.
We're still climbing. Come back and start them all again.
Yeah.
Before we get going, I just need to take a moment to address an unfortunate situation that did come to pass at the competition this year. So Ayala Karim, Noah Sharon, and Nimrod Marcus were initially invited and confirmed to attend this event. Then late this week, the organizers were made aware of several initiatives that had formed to prevent their participation as a political reaction to the ongoing situation in Palestine. Those initiatives gained further media attention, causing the reaction to grow and spread even further. So Boulder Hall Energy Haven did become concerned that there would be violence, and that they, as a small company, a climbing gym, would not be able to guarantee the safety of the athletes in question or any of the athletes in the competition. So regrettably, and after much consideration, they needed to withdraw the invitations to those athletes. With that decision, they tried and unintentionally failed to stay uninvolved in the political side of things. Beforehand, they hadn't fully grasped the implications that their decision would have in Israel and in the Jewish community. They had contact with the city, the government, and the local police, which gave them the confidence to then reverse that decision and re-invite the athletes. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time for them to be able to attend. So the Duck Masters competition strives to bring people together in a celebration of the sport and does not want to be a political event in any way. We feel deeply saddened that this is the way things played out, but rest assured that was never the intention at the outset of the competition. Chloe, we're going to talk a little bit about the overall scene here. There is not a lot of outdoor climbing in the Netherlands, but there are an awful lot of climbing gyms.
Yeah, I mean, I had never been here, but haven't heard of any rocks out here. So.
Yeah, so most of the climbing around here is in Belgium, Germany. Fontainebleau is only a 6-hour drive away. So there is lots of climbing adjacent, but because there's nothing climbing in here, there's about 50 climbing gyms in Holland. This group owns 7 gyms. So there's Radium, Apex, Roost, Kunststof, and Kruidstof, and of course here at Energy Haven, and then there's one more also in Utrecht called Zuidhaven. So, I mean, 7 gyms in a city isn't a lot, but 7 gyms in a city owned by one gym owner is a lot. So, you know, where you and I, like in Canada and in the US, it's basically unheard of to have that kind of density in a city, in a country, I think, of this size.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive given that there isn't like a community of rock climbers based, like climbing here, based out of here. It seems like, you know, I'm sure people have climbed elsewhere, but a lot of places seem to become a hub for outdoor climbing and then grow into having gyms and things like that. And it's pretty impressive to have kind of built that just around the gyms.
Yeah, that's absolutely what's happened here. You guys need to know that the stakes tonight are pretty high. 10,000 euro on the line in prize money. So that's a pretty fair amount of money for professional climbers to go hunting after. So big stakes on the line. And we're minutes away. We're about less than 2 minutes away from presentation of the athletes. We're going to bring in a couple of route setters who have been setting all weekend, and we're going to talk a little bit with them about kind of what their intention was. You know, and they've been here all week setting boulders. So we'll get a little bit of insight from Romain and Olga, and I'm excited to see what they have to say about the round that we're going to put down. So hang tight. We're going to bring them in just 1 minute.
So in the meantime, we have some sponsors, NKBV, La Sportiva, Mammoet, all sponsors. Als jullie nou allemaal naar links kijken, dan zie je daar een heel rijtje topatleten staan. En het is onze eer om ze nu aan jullie voor te stellen. John, open jij het vuren? Ja, ik ga beginnen. De eerste dame, terwijl ze aanlopen, jullie een groot applaus. Op nummer 1, Julija Kruder uit Slovenië. De eerste die komt binnenlopen, zeker niet onbekend, Alberto, Ginés, López. From Italy, Rogora. En dan voor de man, Slava Krasnoperov. And all the way from Iran, Elnaz Rekabi. And then we have from Bulgaria, Slav Kirov. And also from Italy, Camilla Moroni. En dan van niet ver hier vandaan, onze eigen Nederlander, Kom van Laere. And all the way from Austria, Pilz. And now, I give you Gregor Vezonik. And last but not least, from the ladies, all the way from Serbia, Stasa Gejo. And then, this man flashed all 4 yesterday, Ternant. So, you recognize some faces, don't you? All right, we will count down and then you may turn around from 3, 2, 1. Start the timer. En dit is het moment dat onze atleten de tijd krijgen om de boel in te lezen. John, hoe gaat het in zijn werk dit keer? Nou, achter mij zie je volgende morgen. starting holds indicated by tapes. These are obliged to start with. So 2 hands and 2 feet, you have to start with these holds. And so what's the scoring system going to be like? Because I've seen many different kinds of scoring, multiple zones, single zones, points. We have one zone hold, which is over here. It's indicated with a zone. And we have a top hold. And the best thing you can do is try to climb this boulder in 1 attempt. And that's the best you can do.
All right, I am joined now by two. Okay, yeah. I am joined now by two of the crew from the route setting group this weekend. Olga and Romain, thanks for joining me and hanging out a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the weekend and the route setting and the process. So first question for you guys, how did you feel that the semifinal went yesterday?
Okay, yesterday we decided to open the door a little bit, like to give more chance for all the athletes to get tops. So it was like we could consider like an easy round because a lot of climbers climbed 4 boulders. But I think in terms of separation, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent, in fact. And the boulders were all, they were exciting. There were no giveaways. All the boulders were, I think, had something interesting to offer. So I want to ask if you had a favorite from the round yesterday, from the semifinal.
So I'm not sure if I had any single one favorite boulders. I consider that the whole round, both females and males, was pretty good. And as always during the semis, the beginning it's quite, let's say, slow. But after the time, it's getting faster and more interesting for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it actually played out really well that way. And right in the middle of the round, the boulders in the middle of the wall were just putting up fights. So there was lots of action. People were climbing right down to the last second of their time. And for me and for us watching, that makes for very exciting climbing. We're watching the climbers now preview the boulders. The difference between setting an on-site round and a round like this where you have a preview, do you take it into account, or do you change your approach in any way, or are you mostly just sort of setting a final based on the field and based on how they're climbing?
I think the preview doesn't change a lot the level of the boulders, but in finals we know that the climbers are in a different state of mind, there is more stress for them. So yeah, it's important to see if they read the boulders each other together or not. And yeah, for sure it will put more pressure on them on the final run as compared to yesterday.
I mean, it's one of the things that's really interesting if you're not familiar with a lot of finals formats, is that they will collaborate a little bit when they're talking through the boulders. So they're allowed to touch the start holds, and then they have this full 2 minutes to work out, what they want to do. And as Chloe was saying, they want to work out whether they need to come out and be calm, whether they need to be at 100%, and then the order of the boulders. So you also take into consideration the order that you've given them the boulders in, and you sort of set them up for their evening. What can we expect to see tonight?
For men's, I would say we decide to let like 2 medium boulders in terms of level and 2 hard ones. Okay. So we hope to get a good separation on the athletes. As always, there are 4 different styles of climbing on each boulder for sure. For women, it's maybe more consistent, like no easy problem, no medium problem. All the problems are quite medium hard. So yeah, we hope to see some tops, but maybe less than yesterday.
I mean, the depth of the women's field, everybody on the women's side is a World Cup level climber. So yeah, you're essentially setting a World Cup level final for this field.
Yeah, almost.
Almost, yeah. I just want to ask you one more thing, because I know you guys have just been, like, you've gone flat out. You've been here a week, right? You set the finals and then, work your way backwards through the week. This is your time to sit back and have a beer and watch the fruits of your labors. How fun is it to set a competition like this as compared to a sanctioned event? Do you approach it differently, or are you basically coming at it, it's the same for you, or do you get to have a little bit more fun?
So personally, I consider that it's really depending on the team. The pressure, I would say, is slightly bigger for the World Cups because we have different expectations. And here it's more, I would say, maybe not fun, but at least a bit less stressful, a bit the pressure slightly slower, but we are expecting the same show. We want to have a great competition, to have the athlete to win, to have the athlete who win is supposed to be the best athlete of this evening. So we try to make a good job and show best boulders on the wall.
Well, I have no doubt, because I thought the semi-final boulders were amazing, and from what I've seen of the finals while you guys were putting them up, I thought they looked fantastic. Maybe some show, maybe some risk. So if you're watching at home, you should be looking forward to the boulders that we're about to see. Your team, Romain, Olga, you had Max, Assembly, Caleb Thomas, and Fred Charon from Canada, and Melis Agada from France. That's a heavy-hitting team as well. So you guys did
this
really,
is the
really well.
fourth edition for me, and now we know each other pretty well because we work on the last 4 editions together. Max is coming this year. It's a new setter in the team, but the atmosphere in the team is really nice, and I think the result of the competition is important because of this good atmosphere too.
Yeah, I agree, and you can see, I mean, I've been hanging out all weekend, and I love watching you guys work, and the camaraderie that goes on, and the trust that you put in each other to set the boulders and forerun them and kind of listen to each other, and it's one of my favorite things. And I would encourage you, if you're ever are able to sit and watch a bit of the forerunning and the tweaking, to watch a route setting crew of this level put boulders together and argue over a foothold being an inch to the left or an inch to the right. For me, that's sort of the source of the whole sport. So I want to thank you guys for putting in an insane amount of work and setting some absolutely wonderful boulders this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, go out and have a beer and enjoy getting to watch a competition.
Thank you.
Romain, Olga, absolutely. We don't do anything without sponsors for an event of this size. So first and foremost, I think we should thank the Boulder Hall Energy Haven. All of their staff have been amazing this weekend. The management crew have come in from other gyms in their ownership, and they've just looked after everybody involved. The food has been amazing. The atmosphere, the service, can't say enough about it. So huge thank you to the gym and the staff. And then this event is organized in collaboration with the Royal Dutch Climbing and Mountaineering Association, so that's the NKBV. They're super essential. They provide all the judges and all the technical scoring aspects and also financial support. So this is, a chance for added value and the development in the Netherlands for sport climbing. Main partner, La Sportiva of the event. So La Sportiva is, if you know, a huge huge shoe company. And they've put prizes into the mix, and they've also put financial support in. Mahmoud, also a huge partner with this event, and then a ton of hold sponsors. So yesterday, all the semi-final boulders, you might not have noticed, but if you know a little bit more about the game, they were all one hold type per boulder. So we had very specific holds per boulder. I kind of love that. So the semi-final holds were Chapter, Unleashed, Rustam Climbing, and then RSH holds. So they put up specific boulders for the semifinals. And then for the final boulders, we have Axis, Unit holds, Squadra, Super, X-Cult, and Flat hold. And they have they have a new system, the U-turn, and we're going to see those pop up in the boulder finals tonight. Chloe, we are just like that. They went from last boulder preview to first climbers getting ready on the mat. Alberto, Ginés, López, and Julija Kruder are going to kick us off. Boulder 1, Dock Masters 2024 finals starting in mere seconds from now. Exactly. You should be able to hear some of the crowd in the background. There was definitely a roar there as we finished the preview and got the first climbers up on the mat. Alberto and Julija in 10 seconds. Boulders number 1. We're going to get our first look. All the boulderers climb boulder 1, and then they all climb 2, then all 3, and then all 4. So a little bit of everything, I think, because we're going to see everything back to back to back to back. You're going to get to pretty familiar with each of these boulders. Even just sort of look right away, the starting position, uncomfortable. Alberto over on the slab on the far left of the wall. And Julija just right in the middle on that. Newly, they built the wall in here. There used to be a cave, and they flattened it out.
Julia's got that zone already. Made really quick work in the bottom section.
Yeah, like very smooth through there.
Alberto trying to figure out this corner move.
Yeah, we were discussing, you and I, even the women's semifinals boulder that was in that spot. Julija not quite get foots the stick. The corner's very good on the inside, but the arete is not very good to slow down. So getting the right amount of pace through this sort of slab walk is going to be, as he tries to do a little 180, it's going to be pretty tricky to get through there.
Yeah, kind of like what we were saying before, this is the type of boulder where maybe you don't come out fully guns blazing, running as hard as you can into the corner, and it's more trying to be tactical. Ooh, almost making that 180 work. But yeah, trying to make kind of some tactical decisions. What bait are you trying? When do you decide to try something else like spinning in the corner? Let's see if he can make that work this time.
It's going to stay. Oh.
Ooh, super close. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps trying that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things when you're trying alternative or something that's a bit outside the box, if it almost works, you're convinced to try it more.
Yeah, and this kind of like spin around or just like facing backwards in a corner like that is something that we've seen in comps kind of coming up recently, and last year on the World Cup circuit there were a few moves, so we're kind of starting to like get that idea. I think before that might have been really hard to see or read, and now it's maybe a little it's not obvious, but it's a little more
more
open
expected.
option.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's in your list of things to
there
try.
There you go. Yeah. See if Julija can make that footwork this time. Ooh.
You have to. I mean, it looks like you have to put a lot of pressure to generate up and over, and no doubt it's bad.
Oh, just missing the foot.
Just missing the foot. And one of the things that a boulder like this does is it provides an opportunity for separation. So each one of these falls, as an attempt, is going to create a gap in that scorecard.
Yeah, I think attempts will probably be huge. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few people do this move, but I think, yeah, the attempts will definitely be different across the board. So
yeah, it'll be fun to see somebody read it right the first time.
Oh,
yes, makes it stick.
Work. Let's see if he can get the zone out of that.
And so even exiting this move is going to be tricky.
Making it work.
Really nice.
Let's see, this last move looks pretty precise. Let's see what they can do.
Just lining it up.
Nice.
Really good stuff. So taking it down, a handful of attempts to get the positioning right across the slab, and then the first time getting around the corner, making 0 mistakes. That's how you want to solve a boulder like that. Once you finally got through the slab, you don't want to have to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. That one had two kind of risky moves back to back. You got the first move quick, you finally do it, get set up for the finish, and you really need to be able to relax. Oh, yeah.
Using the left foot that time.
Yeah, I really need to be precise for that finish move on the men's boulder. It can be hard to stay in it for two moves like that back to back. Julija's using the arete that time, a little bit different, but won't make that boulder work this time.
She just was unable to get established in a good position. So back on, we're in the plus time.
Oh, bummer.
So I mean, just to give you, if you didn't already need to know, an idea of the precision required in footwork and body position and when and how you weight those footholds. It's not just about put your foot on and go. It's about timing and angles and, Jake was saying yesterday as a root setter, direction of force. So you want to push down, but the hold is making you push to the left. So solving those body positions is actually, part of the challenge. All right, so now we have Slava Krasnoperov. I'm gonna get better at this every time. It's Krasnoperov, and then Laura Rogora. So Laura, consistent World Cup climber, and Slava saying that he spends most of his time climbing outside now, and he's in competitions because they're here, and he has a good time with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think it's not so often that we see people who mostly climb outside or mostly compete kind of doing so well at the other. So it's really cool to see someone who mostly climbs outside be able to kind of hold their own on these comp moves and put up a great show yesterday. in the
Especially,
semifinal.
yeah, because the styles are so different. Like,
Yeah.
obviously climbing outside makes you a strong climber, but you don't do the similar types of movements.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'll see this men's move outside anywhere, but
Not very often.
if anyone knows of it, let me know because I'd love to
Yeah,
try
I'd love
that
to go
on
try
rock.
that. And then you'd want to not try and grade it.
Trying a little different method. I think that could definitely work as well, so it'd be interesting to see kind of what people opt for.
Yeah, some people don't mind a shimmy, like that kind of that lightning foot swap. Some people have that as a core skill set. I am not one of those people. That kind of boulder, I think I would probably just wave to the crowd and the judge and have to sit down for 4 minutes.
Oh,
Excellent.
made it work. I wonder
Sort
if
of
he
fired
just went
around the
direct
corner,
to
yeah.
the corner.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. A lot fewer attempts than Alberto. I'm not sure how many tries that was, but got it done a little quicker.
And then,
Laere is still trying to get the zone over here.
yeah, it's like she's not happy with any of the positions, and she's definitely not happy with that left-hand rail. So just sort of looks unconvinced enough to really push in to get that zone move.
Yeah, the body position looks quite tricky. I'm not sure that putting her foot out on the volume, that might help. Yeah, it looks quite hard to get up into this undercling. So we'll see if she can kind of power up off that right foot.
And you see that left hand just sort of, she was never, I think she re-gripped it maybe a dozen times while we were watching. Just not comfortable in that position at all.
Yeah. Julija just kind of cruised that move. I think probably stood straight up out of the undercling, and now we're kind of seeing how hard that move really is.
Yeah, it's one of those really cool parts is that different styles and different strengths in the climbers, you'll be like, oh, this boulder's going to be a walk. All 6 finalists are going to crush it. And you're like, no, that's just in that person's particular core skill set.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if she kind of opts for something similar.
She's going to just, just for it looked there that she was going to skip the left side altogether.
She is great at lock off, so she can make that work over there. She's either standing on the volume again. Let's see if she can stand up. Ooh.
So had a bit of a high smear. Definitely going to try that again. Yeah. I mean, her left foot, she must be in a T-nut.
I think she's on. Yeah.
She's trying to get a toe
T-nut,
wedged
tricky.
in the T-nut friction, popularized over the last couple seasons by Natalia.
Yeah, Brooke does that a lot as well. So.
All right, so Laura's going to take it down almost to the wire. Doesn't have to be down at 2 seconds. Makes us more nervous when they do. Coaches hate it. Like, just pull on with 5.
This will probably be her last attempt.
Yeah. So
Yep,
she's
there
got to
we
commit
go.
to one bait. I mean, she's sort of been 50-50 on a few different choices. I think she's just got to dial one in and choose
Yeah, I
to
wonder
stick
if
with
she
it.
might just stand straight up. Yeah.
My
If the
goodness.
foot can stay, that would be, sounds like a good option. See if she can pull in. Oh, it's far. The zone is a lot further than it looks on camera.
And you see that here it looks almost vertical, but it actually overhangs
Yeah,
almost
quite a
10
bit
degrees.
there, yeah.
So you see she just couldn't quite get that. The left, she was never far enough to the left to trust the left hand, and the boulder's just a little bit too off balance for her to not trust that left side, I think.
Yeah. I think if you just kind of can lean over the foot to the right a little bit more, it'll help make use of that left hand, but then it's quite hard to stand up towards the zone. So.
Yeah, just in case you were wondering, the boulders are hard. We saw that right away now. So Slav Kirov for the men and Elnaz Rekabi for the women.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing what the route setters had to say, that the men maybe had 2 easier boulders and 2 really hard ones. My guess is that this first boulder is kind of one that's meant to have quite a few tops, but the attempts are going to differ quite a bit. And then the women kind of off the bat, we're seeing different people kind of struggle, different moves. Ooh, Elnaz looking pretty good there.
You just like immediately into the left side
Yeah.
lock off, but then has rejected it.
Really pulled in there. I wish we could go back and see Julija through this section, because she was
She
just
just stomped
cruising
on it,
to
yeah.
the zone. Yeah.
And now we're seeing Oh,
Oh,
wow.
just locking that down.
Yeah, just really trusting the left hand. Good stuff from Elnaz.
She can get that foot up and make it stick. We know it's pretty bad.
Wow.
Julija was struggling with it before.
Oh my goodness.
And Slav's in the corner there.
He's trying to peek around to this sort of blind throw.
Nice.
The tape is
See,
not
nobody
in.
has dropped this last move so far.
You gotta be careful saying that. You gotta be careful saying that. Excellent work, Slav.
Sorry.
In a handful of tries. Take a deep breath whenever you tease someone up like that. Nobody has dropped the last move so far. It looks harder maybe than it climbs. The foot is questionable, but they're pretty locked in, it looks like.
Yeah, I think this is the type of boulder where once they have it figured out, they could probably get it done kind of over and over, dial it in, but it's pretty tricky to find the body position. Making a decision in the beginning when there's so many options is quite hard, and sometimes that's the hardest part, is just to stick to one method or decide when to change, when to try
when
something
to throw
else.
it out, and then even throw it out and then come back.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you kind
exactly.
of, you go through A and then B, and then you either have C or back to A again, like, and you've got no help, right? You have no coach, you have no one, you're in your own head, and you don't want to make the wrong decision, which can be destabilizing.
Yeah, so let's see. She's, just smearing on the left side of the wall, able to really stay over the right foot. It's really strong work from Elnaz.
Do you think she'll go back to this sort of arrête grab? It's not much of an arrête, P.S. It's just a flared corner.
Yeah, the arrête is, I think, really bad there. That foot must be terrible.
Yeah, we didn't get a close look at it. The ladders were up when we were kind of looking through. It's either blocked or dual text, because she's not standing on top. They're standing in that sort of piece in the middle, it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it looks like it's
there's
just
a
blocked
ridge in the
there.
middle. Yeah. And if you know anything about blocked footholds, they're just infuriating. As soon as you weight it, you know we're almost immediately.
Yeah, it can be pretty hard. Like maybe you feel like you're solid, and then as soon as you start to weight the kind of gap, it'll pick. So I think whoever is able to kind of just get enough weight over the right and have the left foot come off, start standing, the finish hold does look really good. So as long as the foot's on there, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, you need to get a little bit of pop out of that.
Yeah, if you can stand up really confidently, I think they'll be pretty solid on that finish hold.
All right, so this would probably be the last try.
Yeah, she's just like owning that left hand.
Yeah. And then nothing we've seen will suggest she's going to try anything different. Well, here now, getting a slightly different. That's a good look now. It is blocked.
Nicely blocked.
Yeah. She's coming in a little bit lower. Oh, dear. And the left hand, the crimp is bad. It's not enough. You can't just reef and pull. Like, you see that they're not just rocking over.
Yeah.
That left hand crimp is also going to be bad. And as we said, the arrête is this like open book corner. You're not getting much other than maybe a kind of false sense of belief that the arrêt's going to keep you glued to the wall.
Yeah, if you can just lean over a tiny bit to the right. It looks like everyone's trying to get over to the right just a little bit, and that foot just keeps picking. So we'll see what the other girls can do on that one.
So this is going to be your local favorite, Dawn van Laere from the Netherlands, and then Camilla Moroni.
Dawn's the only Dutch person in this final, so I think he'll have the whole home crowd behind him.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of anything he does is going to get a rise out of the home crowd. And I hope we've seen 3 different methods of the men, not just getting across the corner, but also how they've come around the arrête. They've all chosen to do something different.
He's opting for that 180 straightaway. They chatted about that in the preview. Camilla looking super solid.
Yeah. Everybody's confident until they stand on the blocked foothold.
Yeah.
He is a technician.
She is looking a little bit blocked.
Yeah, and even just the slightest readjust. I mean, I hate a boulder like this. I love to watch it. I hate to try and climb something like that where just the unweight is enough to knock your foot off. You can't weight it too much. You can't weight it too little. Look at right here. She's just
right as she readjusted, it picked. So.
And then the left foot is on, not a particularly good hold either.
Yeah, I think that's one where you.
Almost
So
from
close.
Dawn.
I think he'll probably make that work in the next few goes. That looks quite close. Yeah, for Camilla, I think if you can just get it on there really solid and try not to move that foot, it's definitely the ideal, but it's so hard to keep the weight on a blocked foot like that. All you want to do is keep readjusting and it doesn't get better.
No, you're in your brain and you know you shouldn't do it, but it's almost like an unavoidable movement.
Yeah, it's sometimes just slipping. You're like, I need to move. Oh, gone. It's getting close.
And do you start sort of in this moment now, 2 minutes have wound down, when you've slipped off the same move a couple times, do you have a little bit of anxiety as you pull on for the third or the fourth time? How do you keep that belief? Nice from Don. Just enough lean back to make that work.
Yeah, leaning back into the corner. Really staying.
He went for the tape.
Yeah, so he won't get any higher score for that attempt, but
how do you keep the faith in your decision making when you've made that kind of same mistake a few times?
Yeah, I think it can be really tricky. Nice. Making it work this time. See if you can do his top move.
Just a little double clutch.
Confidence, yes. Nice work from Don. Let's see if Camilla can make this foot stick. She looks really strong on that left foot.
This time.
Come on.
Camilla Moroni just catches the bottom.
Super strong work.
Crowd loves it. First top. Women's boulder #1 right here. Just had that moment of faith.
Really able to stay over that foot just long enough. And that little pop into the finish. Wow,
and was on her way out. My goodness, she was just caught it at maybe the last possible reach.
Yeah, she really had faith in that foothold till the very last second, which you really need for a move like that.
Well, that was kind of, and then that's exactly what I was just asking you. So she slipped on it twice, and then once she got her hip over it, she just put, I mean, you have to put 100% faith, but she doubled all in and popped off of it after being done wrong several times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's definitely really tricky is when you're trying to move and you're like, yeah, that feels good. Like, I'm feeling pretty confident that I'll do it next try. And then you get to the next try and the try after that and you still haven't done it and the time's ticking. I think if in those moments you're able to kind of take a breath and kind of keep the approach good and keep the intensity and the precision there, I think that's what makes people really good competitors. Oh, Gregor
getting it right the first
away.
time. That is going to be, I mean, it's going to make a difference at some point, but that's fantastic. It's good for your confidence too. Gregor Vezonik.
Oh, just losing that foot.
Just saved by how good that finish hold is.
Very nice work. Oh, so, he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, a little smile from the slip, but he just got the slab traverse perfect. Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be really nice attempts-wise for him. We've seen everybody give at least like 4 or 5 goes on that one.
Jessica Pilz.
Jessie, I think, just peeled off before the zone. Definitely capable of doing this move, so let's see if she can make it work. Ooh. She's popping off the bottom foot. A lot of people are getting their left foot up and kind of smearing before going up. Kind of lets them get a little higher on the 2 dual text holds. So I wonder if she'll try that or stay with the low left foot. Either way, it looks like a really, really tricky position, kind of moving through that section to the zone. So.
Yeah, the lock-off looks like stout, and the dead point looks low percentage, you know?
Yeah.
So we've seen falls in both positions, and neither one of them has looked better than the other. It's going to come down to what you're comfortable doing.
Yeah, she was quite close there, so I'm curious if she'll try that again or if she'll try to kind of lock it down. She is a tiny bit taller than Laura and Camilla, so this dead point might be nice for her.
Just a bit of a second guess and a third guess.
Yeah, oh.
The double clutch can
Very close, very close.
You set up and you stop, and then you take a breath, and you set up and you stop and you take a breath, and sometimes you get diminishing returns after the second time that you've decided not to go. And I mean, you see there, she looks a fraction away. The foot stays, maybe the hips are a little bit too far out. She's only missing the crimp by a tiny bit of a pad.
I wouldn't be surprised if she goes straight away this time because she was quite close. Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Second go.
Really hard in the fingers that way with the dead point.
Just gonna take a breath. See how close she gets. She was on it for a while, and knowing what she's able to crimp on, for her to have been sliding off that close, a fraction away. It only needs to be a tiny adjustment. I'm not talking about making huge changes in style to grab this.
There you go. Nice. There you see how small those ones are. A little blocked. Really tricky.
She elects to stay left foot high.
It's looking good.
Really
nice.
Really good stuff.
Really good work on that foot. She didn't readjust at all, just locked down that left crimp straight to the finish.
And just,
super
kept
strong
trusting
work
it the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah, she really locked down that left hand. And just, once she had that foot on there, didn't move it.
Oh, wow.
Locked it down.
That's a really good look at how much work that hand is doing.
Nice. Yeah, it looked super solid on the foot there compared to some of the other athletes. It's really impressive.
And just like that, we're through 6. So Artur, Ternant, and Stasa Gejo. Stasa's your last year's champion. And I was joking with her in isolation a little bit, and I said, we hope to see you back, near the top of the podium. I didn't want to jinx anything. And she looked right at me. She was like, the top of the podium. So I let her say it instead of me. I didn't want to jinx that at all. But she is a seasoned competitor and all-round fun to be around climber. Zero hesitation.
Went for the dead point. Super confident in the right hand. Let's see if she can make that foot stick. Looking good.
Yeah, she is
super good.
Wow. I mean, she made that look
Very
fundamentally
nice.
different than everyone else did, other than maybe Julija.
She looked so confident moving through the first dead point to the zone and then kind of rocking over that right foot. Similar to Jessie, her foot really didn't move very much once she kind of found that position she liked and locked it straight down to the finish.
Yeah, see, even just the way
Really
she kind of
strong
cranked
work.
her toe on, got her heel up high, and
Yeah, and
100%
even before matching, she kind of had the time to decide, did she want to inside flag or nope, just hang
hip
on.
in.
Yeah, that foot was not
rock
going
solid.
anywhere.
Rock solid. Really nice climbing from Stasa. And Artur now we can focus on, for better or for worse, at least a few more tries.
Yeah, he'll definitely want to get this one done if he wants to kind of stay in the field. So
He's gonna go.
try that inside way again. Ooh.
The hop jump.
Yeah, seems like one of the riskiest ways, or at least like most dynamic. But all the feet and the hands
You gotta
are
think
really
the zone
good.
is a bucket, right?
Yeah,
So it's
if you can
appealing.
get there, it's really nice. But it's around the corner. It's quite far. So
He was aiming before the foot even came down. So this is, if he sticks with this, it'll be exciting when he gets it. It'll be a big open swing.
yeah, if he can land the right foot and the right hand, I doubt he'll drop it. But
Oh, wow.
doesn't
Not
even need
even.
the
Yeah.
foot.
Just a little
Just
press.
the hand needs to get there.
Careful lineup.
Nice.
Artur, really well done.
Very nice. Everyone getting that one done. Different attempts across the board. I think they'll be pretty happy with that separation there. Should make for an exciting show.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to go. So that's Boulder 1. That's about how long it takes to get through 6 climbers at around 4 minutes each. We had some of them come right down to it. We're going to bring the results up for you when we can between the boulders. Remember that it comes up pretty quickly, and it should be pretty accurate. We do have electronic scoring. So on the women's side, Stasa, by nature of flashing the boulder, is going to stay ahead of Camilla and Jessie, and then Elnaz and Julija with zones, and then Laura unable to establish that first zone. So you'll see the green is top, and the number in the green box is attempts to that top, and then the yellow is the zone. So Greg sitting on top based on his flash, and Slav, Artur, Slava, Don, and Alberto all separated by attempts to zone and top. 10-9, 7-7-4. It's a really cool split to come down that way.
Yeah, good separation on both boulders. I mean, this one, yes, everyone top, but the attempts are really different. So if it does come down to tops, those attempts will definitely matter quite a bit. And then for the women, we had a little bit of everything. So pretty ideal for a first boulder, I think.
I would agree, yeah. And if you're not super familiar, what we care about is tops first and foremost, and then number of zones after that. And then if we have ties in the tops and zones, we go to attempts to top and attempts to zone. So you want to be able to flash boulders. The goal is always do the boulder first try. And then after that, it's do the boulder in the least number of tries. And then if that fails, at least get yourself a zone.
Yeah, well, yeah, boulders, zones, attempts to top, attempts to zone.
All right, so back to Alberto and Julija are going to show us boulder 2. So the men are going to come out of the caves, and the women are going to get a little, maybe a little quarto.
A little press on the dual text, pretty nice. Both of them quick work to the zone.
Yeah, this looks like just a straight squeeze boulder, and I don't imagine Alberto is going to hesitate too much, just sort of pull between the holds, although this looks, maybe he's got a little toe hook under there, hard to see. And a nice jump out.
Yeah, those holds, those yellow holds are quite hard to hold, very like position dependent because they're quite tricky. Oh, he's still trying to come in for that match.
Wow.
He's not going to want to drop it.
There we go. Doesn't love, so the finish hold there, I mean, they're kind of flaring. You say pinch, but not really. It's almost a sloper.
Yeah, they're almost a sloper. You can almost kind of half crimp them. They're a little bit, yeah, very position dependent, really not very positive in cut holds, so you want to find that very
just
low.
sort of getting the top of the coordination. She didn't miss it by much. She didn't, it's not easy, of course, and we'll back to Alberto here. Him initially looked strong in compression, but then having to release that right hand, he didn't like the position.
Really had to compress there. Like you could tell his body didn't come out from the wall very much. It was a lot of, there was a lot going on in the hands and the shoulders to keep that together for the last move. Did a really good job of staying patient to kind of find that position for the end.
Yeah, and then all the way back the other way. And so we spent a lot of time at the finish. Oh, and
Julija.
Just like that. I thought she would take a longer rest, and we try and show you replays because we expect climbers to behave in a relatively consistent manner. And she must have just jumped right back on.
She made that first go look really close. The finish hold's quite good, but the one before is not, so I think the timing's super important. Yeah. She knew she had it that time, looked super confident coming into the finish.
Yeah, and a learned movement like that, you know it's a matter of time. You're like, the bucket is good. If I get my mitts on it, I'm staying there. You're just sort of getting dialed in, how much pressure you're putting on the 1-2, how close you can stay to the wall. It's whether or not you can learn the movement in the time provided.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, for her, I think it was maybe a little bit more of a timing thing, like when do you hold the first hold versus go to the finish. For Laura, it might be a little far, so it'll be a lot in the legs and really trying to get the height there. So kind of a different challenge for everyone, I think, which is cool.
And the press is, I think it's going to give a few people trouble. Julija is a super powerful climber and got really high. You're pressing on no text. Where Laura's right hand is, it looks like she's going to try and maybe climb slower out of it. But what she's matching on right now.
This looks like it'll work great, yeah.
Yeah, it will. So that's a no texture
very
there.
Nice solve.
There might be a foothold. We didn't see.
I don't think
there is, though. And Slava is getting out of the steep part.
Laura got herself situated in that corner. In that zone. Yeah, it's
creeping onto
definitely
the
a little
zone.
further for her, so it'll be a little more awkward to go out, but she might be a little more comfortable in that corner. So. Super strong in that right hand.
Yeah.
Nice.
She is sometimes the definition of slow and steady.
Yeah, really locking down the zone there. Ooh,
You can hear
opting
it.
for a different method.
Yeah, I think she
That would be
looks
crazy.
for in control first, and then goes to her anti-style maybe, which is being extra springy.
Yeah, I think that's something that she's probably worked on a lot, and that seems to be paying off. I mean, yesterday she was super solid on those more powerful boulders and some of the jumpier moves, so I'm sure it's something that she's working on quite a bit.
Yeah, and the more time you spend on the World Cup circuit as well, the more you're exposed to boulders that maybe aren't your natural style. So you have to choose to train them when you know you're going to see them, and it can take a season to really get caught up to that style of setting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she did the same thing in the beginning. She'll probably do something similar to get out to that big left hold. Then for the finish, I think she'll really have to get a little higher so she can match that like second to last hold a little more comfortably. So we'll see if she can get the height there. I think if she gets her hand on that finish hold, she won't let go.
Yeah, I would agree. Slava having trouble through here, so a huge difference. You saw Alberto made it look, so half a hand closer for
Yeah,
Lara.
closer for sure. If she can get just a little higher, I think we'll see her get that one done.
She has enough time for 1.5 attempts.
Yeah, she's got some time there. I wonder if we won't see people hang out in that corner for a little bit.
Yeah, good
with
point.
The 4+.
Good point.
Slava kind of showing us how hard this boulder really is. Those holds are quite bad. They're really, really hard to hold. And Alberto
shot up
did
it.
really good work on that one.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll see everyone climb it as nicely as he
And
did.
this angle shows you kind of how far away the first and the second move are. And I was like, oh, Alberto's got a toe hook under there somewhere, but it's not a clean movement. It's awkward. You see Slava having trouble like making that different complexity. So this sort of, what Laura's on is, the coordination is complex, but also like heel to toe swaps and big moves are complex. Oh. A quick look at the clock. She's immediately going to get back
yeah,
on.
she's going to get back on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her hang out in the corner for a little bit. She's close if she can just get a little higher. Yeah.
It's just,
So we
I mean,
see
a
her
half a hand.
momentum. It's like not really moving up anymore once she grabs that first hold, but she's pretty close. So
All right, so
she'll
that's
really
it.
want to get it done here to stay in the race.
Yeah, you start thinking about your first boulder, and you can hear the crowd cheering. You know there were tops, and you're all together in isolation. So if you're choosing to talk about it, she's going to know that almost everybody else topped the first boulder.
Yeah, 3 tops on the first one. She didn't get the zone there, so really like to do this one.
Laura, Rogora, all or nothing here. About the same as the last 2 tries. Close, but not quite enough to get stuck to that hold.
Almost looked like she maybe considered stopping on the first one. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we didn't see her hang out in the corner more.
A
She
little
had
bit
that
longer, yeah.
opportunity to rest a little bit, but she's a lead climber. Fitness should be great, so maybe she didn't need it.
I was gonna say, yeah, she could have recovered, but also probably didn't need to.
Yeah.
All right, Elnaz and Slav. And they're, do you have that boulder that you previewed that you're sort of dreading in ISO? You're like, oh God, it's this boulder, like it's my anti-style, or do you try and put that, you just anticipate every boulder with positivity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that everyone has in the back of their head probably the style that's harder for them, or kind of sees a certain hold type or boulder and thinks, oh no, like that's gonna be rough. But I think, at least for myself, I like to tell myself in general that that's probably not a super helpful mindset to think, okay, this boulder is gonna cause trouble.
Look at Slav here.
He's climbing this super well.
With us catching it just in time with the foot slip.
Very nice.
Wow, and a little Little sneaky drop
Take his
knee.
time for this finish. We saw how tricky it was. Nice.
Little sneaky heel.
Very nice.
That's amazing climbing. Slav just methodically crushed his way through those Elnaz.
Elnaz super close. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her do that one.
That finger was maybe, next try.
I got it. Good patience from
And you
Slav
could see
and
this moment. He's like,
Alberto
I
up
bet
there.
I could get a heel hook. Like, yeah. My friends are gonna be so proud of me with my heel hook right now. That's really, as you say, patient, methodical climbing to get the right position.
Yeah, he's super flexible as well. I saw him stretching in his warm-up a little bit yesterday, and yeah, I'm not surprised he was able to get his heel up there.
Tactics. It's not always just about raw power and squeeze. You you can only squeeze so hard, and you can't out-squeeze holds like that finish. So I mean, it is interesting again to see two people who are obviously very strong on that style of hold, because the whole boulder is similar, grab the finish and go, there's no way I'm just gonna step across and match this.
Yeah, I think we'll see a few different ways to match that finish, but as long as people take their time, it seems like there's some pretty good options in there.
And that's maybe what they're trying to show, the route setters are trying to tease out of you is, relax, this is a powerful boulder, but you need to be, just a bit of a maybe a lapse of concentration.
That good part of the left hand.
Her way to the right, kind of before she left.
Left hand, she went to readjust, just missed it. I doubt we'll see her make that mistake again.
Yeah, you're gonna shake that off.
But yeah, I mean, like we were saying, I think kind of goes back to what we were saying before the round started. But I mean, every climb it's one move at a time, and just because it's something you don't like, I mean, that's the boulder in front of you, and maybe it's not what you prefer to be climbing on. But I mean, competition, ideally you set yourself up for success, whatever that looks like for you. So I think it's not always super helpful in a round to think, I don't like this.
Yeah, good point. You have to have the mindset. And even there you saw she just shifted her hips way over.
Right. Like here, the confidence is gonna help her out. Oh, she looks really solid, like very kind of settled and ready to go on that hold. So I think we'll see another good attempt from her here. A little closer on the attempt before, though. She was able to get a hand kind of near that finish.
Through the finish. But good timing, good setup. Like it's a high foot to rock out of, so it's hard to get your hips over so that the drive gets you going in the right direction. So there's it takes some concentration to finish a boulder that way.
Hard to stay into the wall for sure on that move. This is where it starts to get a little nerve-wracking. You're like, I know I can do it, but I only have one try left.
All right, Elnaz.
For all the marbles.
We're going to be a little bit extra careful through this part. Even you saw her, the transition from the zone to the sloper, she just brought her hips all the way through. It didn't leave the foot behind at all and locked it in.
Yeah. Nobody hanging out in that corner must not be as comfy as I thought.
Elnaz Rekabi with zeros on the clock.
See if she can get it done. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Now's the rest.
Now this is just a little second guess, a double clutch. Elnaz, a hand.
That was her closest attempt for sure.
She backed off
wasn't
there.
missing anything there.
1, 2, and just.
Wow, I think it was just like that kind of intensity and quickness in the left hand. It looked like it was lagging just a little bit
because you have to get a little pull off that paddle through. You can't just paddle. You need to be moving closer and higher.
For sure. I mean, not enough to touch the holds. You got to hold on, but that was quite a good attempt. I think she'll be kicking herself a little bit for that one. This definitely wasn't missing much to stick that finish hold.
Camilla Moroni now.
Super powerful athlete. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her kind of just rip through that top bit, but we'll see what she makes of the bottom section.
And Dawn, again, wasting it. When they've already previewed the boulders, the first couple they usually get on within 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah,
they remember what to do.
Oh, catching the toe dynamically. That's a really cool method.
Very good stuff from Dawn.
See if Camilla can do this move this time. Oh.
Unable to generate
opting for a more static method like Laura. Nice. I wonder if maybe they chatted about that together. That's something we'll do a lot of the time.
And it's cool to see sort of 2 or 3 climbers do it one way and 2 or 3 climbers do it the other way, and you see that people are like, you're insane, I'm going to match. I'm like, you're insane, I'm going to cross.
Yeah.
And you get to go with who you agree with.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their style. We've kind of seen that, seen what method people opt for first. So let's see if she can pull through this finish hold.
Measuring it out here. Camilla Moroni. Oh, look at that. Kind of one and then straight through. Love it.
Really nice climbing from Camilla. Super strong in the left hand. Able to pull straight through and cross to the finish.
Yeah, that's a really nice way to complete that. Just looked in control the whole way.
Yeah, I think it looks like if you can really get the height and kind of pull through that hand, that there's like no letting go of that top bit.
Yeah, she was above it, basically.
Yeah.
This is just watch the difference here. Left hand and then crossing through. Yeah, I love that.
Super solid on that move.
Powerful
really
and quick.
Nice climbing.
That right hand coming through, you got to really speed up your decision making. Really quick. Love it. Good climbing from Camilla. 2 minutes left for Dawn van Laere. Showing again that you need to have a ton of power in the bank to get out of this first section through the zone.
Power and power endurance for this one. It's starting to get a little long. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves.
And every time you do the first 2 moves here, you're getting a bit sapped, but this time getting quicker into the zone.
Oh, he's already got that zone, so every go he's looking for the top.
Maybe a bit low. Never really got his shoulders high enough to press into that high Gaston. Maybe one of the worst positions you can find yourself in is trying to get out of this.
Yeah, these holds are super, they're quite like shallow almost at the end, so it's really hard to pull yourself into the wall.
They get worse the harder you pull on them,
Yeah,
basically.
a little bit. These ones are a lot about kind of direction and which way you're pushing. Definitely super challenging holds to climb on. So.
I love that. Look, the beauty of the finals, the way we do the format is that we have time to hang out with the athletes. Just that posture from Don, sort of standing with that. He's still contemplating, right? You dialed in. I love seeing the way they kind of approach their time in between attempts. You know, are you focused? Are you trying to relax yourself? You see there he had a bit of a smile out to the crowd, trying to see if the music can get you in your zone, letting the clock wind down, and he's got to go, I mean, all out.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see for a boulder like this, it's long, every move is quite hard. You'll see people aren't giving too many attempts, so.
And the crowd winds up for your last attempt. They can get a bit sleepy in between, but they're
third, maybe fourth go max here.
Big push from Dawn now.
He tries super hard here.
Oh, just about the same as last try. That sort of, I love the shrug. I did everything I could.
I tried.
Yeah, that move is super, super hard. Again, just making us realize Alberto and Slav, just a completely different level on this type of movement.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Gregor and Arthur go about this one, because
I mean, if I'm a betting man, and I'm not, but sometimes I am. If I'm a betting man, I say that Gregor and Arthur both come through that boulder and complete it. And I think Jesse and Stasa also come through and complete this boulder.
Yeah, I
it's
think
definitely, it's in Stasa's style. And Jesse's been also quite explosive this weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, Stasa looks in great form, and Jesse as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them get it done pretty quickly. Yeah, Gregor has looked super solid as well, so see what we can make of it. Only one to flash that other one, first boulder. So he's got that extra little confidence kind of coming out on top for now.
And he's having fun. Just chatting with him yesterday and a little bit more today. He's in his element for sure. He's been competing for a really long time, and he loves it. And it's been showing this whole weekend.
So he has that left foot up, as opposed to Dom kept the toe and kind of released out of there. This looks a lot better, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe more time to get it set up, but really powerfully in control.
Oh, really locking down.
Just shorted it, maybe a pinch.
Jessie making that beginning look really solid.
Picking up some chalk from her pants.
All right.
Jessie.
Oh,
Ooh.
almost stopped on the
Almost stalled.
first
Looked
one.
like, again, as you were saying before, I think it was Elnaz looked like, or that she was going to try and
looked,
stop.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those holds where it's just when you jump to it, it's a little better than you thought, and so you kind of want to stop, and then you're like, wait, I should have gone,
I should
and
have
it's
kept going.
too late.
Yeah.
Like she was right in the position to go, and she's like, wait, I'm holding on.
I can come back.
Yeah.
And then, no, I can't.
Tricky. I think next time we'll see her kind of do something similar and just let go that left hand right at the last second, grab the finish, because she was super high and solid on that.
It's perfect the way you described it. Is that you get there and you're like, oh, maybe I can stay.
And you're like, oh,
God, I
should have
gone.
done that.
Yeah, and it all happens in an instant. Well, Greg, I suspect will take a slightly longer rest, having been that close to the top.
Yeah, he definitely knows what to do, it looks like. He was also super solid in the bottom section, so it'll be about getting it done now. All right, Jessie, you can do
Good
it.
to go, Jessie.
Oh, yeah,
nice. So she did go with the, hey, I can stop. And really
nice.
solidly, actually. Almost
Yeah,
no swing through.
That first time, I think it probably was just a little bit of hesitation, like not knowing how good that first one was going to feel. And this time knowing she could stop on it and just going with the intention to stop. She looked really solid there.
Smear and that little back flag to take the momentum out. More technical maybe than it looks to be able to do that, to sort of stop on a going left on a left-facing hold.
Yeah, I'm sure that hold is not nearly as good as she just made it look.
Yeah, better than she expected, but not as good as we think.
Oh. Gregor not loving that move.
Doing something a bit outside the box. And then...
Yeah, we saw him sneak this right toe underneath. Or he did before. Oh,
yeah,
there you
just
go.
there.
Quite hard to go with the left hand. I'm pretty sure the others went with the right hand. They probably had their feet over the other side.
All right,
Those
so
holds are quite hard to hold.
So Chloe, you're project yourself back into the finals. You've got one try left. You've tried A and just missed. You tried B and just missed. How do you decide which one to go back to? They looked almost identical in terms of effort to success.
I think at that point it comes down more either to what you think the setter's intended. Sometimes there's a more obvious solution and you maybe tried to break the beta and it felt equally as close, but in theory, whatever the setters have intended, it probably works. So I think for me that might be kind of where my head goes. There's also just which one is maybe more in line with your style and how you typically climb. But it really depends on the boulder. Oh!
And that left foot just sort of letting them down. Maybe, of course, it's a powerful boulder, so the third try, not
really.
quite as confident, but you see that just a little slip on the volume. He's got it quite far out, and then...
Yeah, I think energy-wise, this is the type of boulder that Slav and Alberto will have been really happy to flash, because it is not easy to give 2, 3 really good, solid goes where you're progressing the whole time. I mean, you've got 4 minutes here, so.
And just an interesting nod back to what you were saying about, like, Laura has root fitness. Alberto, a very accomplished root climber, so maybe a little bit more power endurance in the bank to climb through a boulder of that level of strenuousness.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he didn't really need it on that one, getting it done so quick, but I think the longer boulders shouldn't really be an issue for him.
Artur and
Stasa
Stasa
sliding out of that dual tech one. Get a little higher here. Oh, it goes straight over.
A slightly different method than everyone still. Artur just catching the zone.
Let's see if he gets that left foot up as well. Yes, this looks like definitely the better option for getting out to the shoulder.
Already a lot of time spent on this zone.
Allez, Artur. Oh.
All right, and Stasa now electing to stop and chalk up here.
Yeah, I'm thinking she'll like this move. We'll see.
Yep.
Yes.
Fantastic from Stasa. So not a flash by missing the first move, but climbing through the coordination part of the boulder flawlessly on her first effort.
Yeah, she'll still be ahead on attempts from that first boulder as well, so I think she's probably feeling really confident now. And
that's
yeah,
textbook.
She's probably pretty psyched for boulder 3 and 4.
Really
Definitely
nice work.
looking really dialed in here. It's cool to see.
And Artur,
I think these last 2 climbers really showing us kind of how hard this boulder is, for sure.
we know how strong they are, we know how powerful they are. They belong in the finals, and then you think, how bad is that hold? Like Artur sort of went left hand, right hand, left hand on the zone, and then maybe ran out of gas, but he like sort of swapped around a lot. Greg looked really solid on it, but had trouble getting out.
Yeah, this one's a lot of that grip grabbing that Gregor was kind of mentioning.
Yeah, he doesn't like to grab
like,
grips.
I really want to hold holds. So
He doesn't
this
want
one
to have
is
to.
a lot of holding holds, really position dependent. So
A quick look at our standings right now.
Super
Stasha's sitting
hard.
at the top, and Artur just getting a little shake, get some blood back in the fingertips and the forearms. Force yourself to rest. Sometimes your instincts throw you want to get back on the boulder, you want to sort of rehearse that learned movement right away.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we only saw 1 more go from him. I mean, 2 at most, but at this point you kind of know what to do. You know how the holds feel. And I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's really hard to give more than 2-3 goes on a boulder this style in that shorter time. So I wouldn't be surprised if he runs it down. Doesn't look like he will, but.
He's giving himself a good minute and change to rest, which is, it's a balance between confidence and maybe knowing you need to get something back as well. 1 minute.
Yeah, I think at this point he'll probably run down the clock. Oh.
Okay, enough to jump right back on if he slips.
I doubt
it's a
you
small
want
window.
to, though.
Yeah, it's a small window.
I guess if you fall to the zone or something.
Oh my goodness, the toe hook this time.
Alrighty.
And then this sort of, so much hand positioning to get back in and around the zone.
A little better that time.
Yeah, wow, that's so strong. Can he extricate? Artur going.
Locking it down.
Yes, he is going to go
he had
slow.
that right foot out for that move.
Oh, the compression.
He's got 9 seconds. I
The
doubt
crowd
he'll
wants
get
him
back
to.
on.
The crowd wants him to, but I don't think he's going to have any gas. This was so close, Chloe.
Oh.
This is
He'll be kicking himself a little bit there. It's frustrating to make progress like that and not have any more points to show for it, having gotten the zone earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an awkward position to jump out of for sure. The foot is way far away. I wonder if he'll have thought about, you know, as he's walking back, could I have brought my left foot up? But here we go, after 2, Slav sitting at the top based on attempts, Alberto behind, and then Gregor, Artur, Don, and Slava taking 3 to 6. So Slav, excellent work. And Alberto hopped himself back up to the front. So many attempts on the first boulder, but topping the second boulder, critical difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have Stasa sitting at the top, just ahead of Camilla and Jesse, and then Julija with 1, Elnaz with 2 zones, and Laura with 1 zone.
It's looking like attempts to top for the top 3 spots in the women right now, but wouldn't be surprised if we see that kind of change with the next 2 boulders. We'll see how those ones go.
So it's cool to have listened to Romain say that the men kind of got 2 medium boulders and 2 hard boulders. So I suspect that was one of the hard boulders.
Yeah.
So now we're wondering, will we get a medium one next or another hard one back to back? And Julija staring down as hinted at, 4 hard boulders.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing it well for the women right now. Like every boulder kind of looks somewhat doable for everyone, but quite hard as well. So we're seeing like kind of different attempts and people struggling on different moves, which is cool. This boulder looked really cool. I liked the look of this one when we were looking at them.
Solving the beginning and getting to the zone
Yeah,
right away.
Right
Oh, and then sort of ejecting.
It's quite hard on the shoulder. You really want to stay into the wall. Julija getting that zone. Oh, she's looking really good here.
Yeah.
Tops inside. Very nice.
Very nice, sort of extended but powerful through the whole thing.
Yeah, super quick work on that one for her.
Yeah, something landing in her style maybe.
Yeah, I'm curious how that one will look for the other girls.
No mistakes at all, really. I mean, just great composed climbing from Julija.
Yeah, super confident going to the finish hold.
All right, we get to focus on Alberto. A little better look at the angles. Sort of the top down doesn't show you how spread out and how awkward the foot positions are at the beginning. And some
Coming in to
gnarly
match
crimps.
that blocked crimp. Oof.
Getting himself a zone.
Yeah, really coming into the wall. Super hard on the right tricep, right shoulder. Oh, just loses the
Yeah,
foot.
it's just him immediately grabbing the right side, and the foot's pressing out. I mean, so much weight between the right side and the left foot. Remember that the precision required is one thing, and then being able to maintain pressure all the way through. Something Jake and I talked about yesterday is that it's not just about getting your foot somewhere and then standing on it. If the movement requires you to hold like near maximum pressure the whole way through as you're shifting or moving away or moving above a foothold, the focus required, if you stop thinking about the foot for half a second, it's off.
It's gone, yeah.
And this appears to be that kind of movement, at least for Alberto. Looked really solid, and then as soon as he sort of shifted the tiniest bit, that left foot just immediately gave way.
Yeah, like the stems like this where you're pressing with both shoulders, both triceps, a lot of the time it's something where you suddenly feel the hands are a little better, so you start to weight the hands more, forget about the foot, it pops off. So yeah, what about probably keeping that foot for as long as he can. Maybe he can even reach that next hold from the foot. You see, he's kind of using a foot holds to make this transition, it looks like. Yeah, this little nubbin right there. You really want to get into the wall, keep the weight through the left foot. Crimp in the volume.
Crimp in the volume. Oh my goodness. Oh, just unable to, trying to get his right foot maybe. It looked like he was trying to get his right foot either through or higher.
Yeah, maybe match that lower foot, and if he could get the left foot up, I think that would be really nice. But it's really hard with the left hand crimping the edge of the volume like that.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a comfortable position by any means.
No, and maintaining like really, really high tension throughout this whole section. Oh, fundamentally, he's already got the zone, so. Hunting a really gnarly drop knee there.
Yeah, very crimpy methods he's opted for there.
And he's going to give the last try.
Let's go for Alberto.
Is he going to go back to the right hand press or the right foot high?
Just adjusting that position before he goes over.
Into the press, and now right foot over sooner. Blowing. So adjustments and progress, but unable to unlock anything past the zone.
Yeah. I wonder if some people will not have so much trouble with this move, or it's kind of always hard to tell. Like, is the shoulder mobility, is that what's holding people back? Is it the pressure in the foot? It will be really interesting to see how other people kind of fit into that box, and also just like height, just see if other people kind of fit in that position a little better.
Yeah, because the positions, and there's so many options for positions. So you immediately see here, you see Slava going right hand low, and Alberto had a triple match.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit taller, a little bit lankier.
Because he's taller, he felt a little better there, but then this might be a little more awkward being taller. Oh, looks quite good though.
It did.
Yeah. So he was able to keep that left foot on a little longer for sure. Wasn't really looking to move it up any higher.
And so as you say, even though he's taller, he looked like he fit into the smaller compression box a little bit better. So maybe better hip mobility, shoulder mobility. It could be, you know, a string of combinations of those different things. And that's why, you know, that's why it's fun to watch 6 different climbers work out the same problem, because you'll get subtleties across the board.
Absolutely.
Laura here.
Yeah, we saw Julija get the left foot up and kind of stand up straight to that left hand. I think Laura will opt for something similar, but it'll be interesting to see if she'll be able to do that the same way.
She's looking a little bit uncomfortable with what she thinks she has to do here. So just not making a final decision about how to get in and out of the zone. Slava getting right back into that position.
Up here.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, so that volume's also closer. It might be a little more awkward in the box, but that volume's closer for him, so making that work super nicely.
Yeah. Excellent work, and just sort of stuck it at full extension.
This finish, maybe a little dynamic. We'll see. We'll see what he opts for. Press on both. Yes.
Oh wow. Slava.
Very nice to want to take his time for the finish here.
Oh, he's just trying to make a decision about balance.
Oh, very nice.
That's excellent climbing from Slava Krasnoperov. Wow, and then immediately so comfortable in the finish position, right? Once you make a decision to commit over there, that was really, really nicely solved.
Very nice. He'll be psyched with that one.
That woke the crowd up a little bit. And now see if Laura can tap into some of that energy in the room. Just never looked comfortable deciding left foot, left hand, right hand. She sort of worked through 2 or 3 different options, but never stood up into the zone hold.
Yeah, it looks like once she gets stood over up and left, I think you'll be able to make more use of the zone, but that transition is really hard.
And
at this point, it's really hard to make any use of the hold. Yeah.
It's not.
Come on, Laura. Nice. Able to get the left foot up that time. Let's see if she can stand. Oh, brought it back down. Oh.
You can see the grimace, like the amount of effort. Boulders like this where you're not going very far, and it looks, you're sort of in the crowd, you're like, why doesn't she just stand up or lean back? I mean, she's putting 100% effort in just to basically get into the right position.
Yeah, I think if you're a little shorter on this one, it might be easier to bring the left foot all the way up, but it's also harder to get your weight all the way over to the left. So it'll be interesting to see if she can make that transition work.
And then even
one
just,
last go.
Yeah, rushing the start a little bit and not having a quick slip. I mean, the opening, it's a barn door. The opening move is basically set as soon as you come off the ground, you're going to want to swing around to the right.
Yeah, that foot is definitely not very positive. I think establishing on it's probably pretty finicky, uncomfortable move.
So just showing you a little bit more the power that Julija brought to the show to have stormed up that boulder like that.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder how the other girls will fare.
Slav and Elnaz.
I think Slav's probably feeling pretty good now. Knows he's towards the top of the ranks right now. So I think he'll go at this one with a lot of effort, intensity.
And I mean, sometimes, Chloe, you talk about the boulder when you get back to ISO, yeah? Sometimes you're like, people are like, hey, did you do it? You're like, yeah, I did it. But you don't talk about how many tries, but people definitely know where they stand in this format.
For sure. I mean, in a final, when you have 20 minutes or so between boulders, there's usually a bit of talking and people kind of saying, you know, oh, I had no idea what to do here, or people just kind of a nod of like mutual understanding. You did it, I did it, and that's it. Like, it kind of depends.
Yeah, we all agree it was really hard.
Yeah, it definitely depends, but I think in general you have you at least know which boulders have been topped and by who for the most part.
But it goes back to what you were saying at the beginning, is that you're looking ahead almost the whole time. So you kind of leave the boulder you just did in the rearview mirror almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not helping you to kind of think back to the other boulder, you definitely, opting to go straight from the low foot. Yeah, I mean, if it's not helping you to think back to the old boulder, then best move on. But I think for someone in Slav's situation, maybe just taking some confidence and being like, I'm doing well, I'm in it,
I belong
I'm killing
here.
it.
Yeah.
I
Crowd
think,
loves me,
yeah,
right?
That
I'm
can,
good.
That can be great too.
Yeah, a little self-hype goes a long way.
Yeah.
Look at me in the finals at Dock Masters.
I mean, same way as when you haven't done a single boulder and you've been beaten down on 1, 2, and 3, it's quite hard to kind of stay in it until the end.
You're like, am I good enough? All right, Elnaz sort of.
She looks really comfortable
I love that
in this
swap there.
move. Yeah,
So she jumped sort of that left hand, but from really low position.
Yeah, off this low kind of bar start foot. I believe we saw Julija get the left foot up, and then she was just able to stand and reach it. There you go, very nice.
Making it
Got
stick.
them both on. Yeah, looking super
Very
comfortable.
cool.
Oh, and Slav quite close as well.
Elnaz, I mean, once you get out of that awkward position, if you own the last move, if you can get to the second last move.
Yeah, it looks like from the zone, it's awkward, and the second you kind of jump, if the foot and the hand land, then Julija and Elnaz looked quite comfortable there.
And your body language changes to
Yeah,
go to that last move. You're like, oh, it was a little bit of
You
relax
kind
and
of
a
see
little
them
bit
grab
tighten.
the finish and just like really relax, and they know that they're gonna match it. There's no more problem there. Oh, Slav was quite close.
Both attempts getting his hands on this dead point. And just that piano match, working the fingers over. Trying to generate the power here. So close. I think we saw Slava get quite a lot higher into the press, and he had his left foot much more extended before he popped. And Slav here, whether he's a bit shorter or just less comfortable on that right side, is jumping from quite low.
Yeah, Slava looked like he really kind of committed to fully almost jumping and kind of holding that scorpion, and Slav is maybe trying to do it like fully static and stay on the foot. It's kind of hard to decide the pacing on a move like that, because there's usually, you can go slow, and there's a moment where you kind of have to pop, and it can be hard to get that timing right.
Yeah, if you wait too long through your press,
Yeah,
you run out of power, you fall out of the boulder. So just in case you thought it wasn't enough to be strong enough and have good body position and explosivity, you have to time all of those movements or it doesn't go in your favor either.
He did have one attempt where he looked quite close.
All right, this is it, clock's at 0.
Definitely wants it.
Slav to really put himself in a good position. Can he get it?
Pop there. Oh!
Not quite. I think even the left foot released on the way up. So really, really like tough position to get out of. This is full effort.
It's strong work from Slava getting that move done. This
Yeah.
ramp up here looks really not very good. I think if it were better, we'd see them just hanging on to that thing. But
Yeah, just sort of tapping across it. Alberto unable to establish enough to even get there.
Yeah.
Slava crushing, and then Slav showing you that even getting towards it, it's not enough. Camilla now and Dawn.
Yeah, Camilla a little bit shorter than Julija. Let's see if she's able to kind of make that transition work similarly. It'll be interesting.
Feel the bass coming up through the floor.
Yeah, the energy out there seems really, really good. So that's definitely something that's helping these athletes. Nice.
Coordinated starts. That's so smooth. Wow.
Both of our athletes.
Dawn looking in complete control.
Camilla really trying to get her hands up as high as she can on that lower hold. Oh.
Dawn going to the jib, which maybe was intended to do the finish. That's crazy hip mobility.
That was really, really solid climbing.
If he can just keep it together, that's one of the tricks now.
Yeah, I think this last one is not
Oh my
so
goodness,
hard,
is he
but
gonna
you
go?
really need to. Yes, nice.
A flash from Dawn
Nice,
Valera.
and Camilla,
And
super
Camilla.
strong, looking to do the same.
Also flashing her boulder.
Very nice.
Keeping that energy. I love a top followed by a top. The crowd just builds on itself. That's really, really good stuff from both Dawn and Camilla. I mean, this move here.
Yeah, that finish is just risky enough. It kind of, you have some time underneath. You're like, oh, okay, all right. Like,
You've got to psych yourself up for it.
yeah, but he looked so solid on that bottom bit. It helps to I think, doing a move like that. You're like, I can do that over and over and just get this finish done. And Camilla, once she jumped to that left hold, she looked super solid as well.
Yeah, she was careful in the setup and then just locked it in.
Yeah, did a good job of like kind of staying in it and experimenting with the position, and kind of found that maybe there wasn't a good static way for her to do it, and once she jumped, she was full commit to that. It's very cool.
So Gregor and Jesse will know that the boulders were flashed because they were only in the on-deck chair for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So they know that there's been a slow burn to this point, and then they're well aware that Dawn and Camilla just smoked these boulders.
Yeah, they're maybe a little more cautious with attempts when you know they're getting topped.
Greg getting into the match and
Not
looking.
wanting to make any mistakes.
Ooh. Yeah, immediately
fly
up in that right
hard.
shoulder.
Jessie taking her time.
See that right hand kind of pressing on the bottom of the volume for a little bit of balance. She's going to go from low.
Commit to the jump. Nice.
Oh, wow. That full extension off the right
Super
toe.
solid, yeah.
So a different method again.
Yeah, very nice work. It was pretty cool that she was able to keep that right foot on. I think that helped quite a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought she had the height for that, but this definitely has the power for it. Gregor just doesn't love the position.
Yeah, she's walked up that thing.
The check over the shoulder for the judge, even though you know you're hanging on a bucket,
Yeah.
is like, it's universal. It's ingrained in you.
It's your instincts kind of kick in. You're like, I need to check the judge.
Judge says top. Gregor's going to do, I love it. Sean McCall used to do this quite a lot too, is just have a sit down, a forced rest.
Take a seat.
Yeah. Although.
Yeah, I think he's probably thinking quite a bit, like what he was doing with the foot really didn't seem to work well for him, so I'm sure he's kind of trying to decide if there's another option. Definitely not obvious to do what Dawn did, getting that foot up, so I wonder if he'll see that or not.
And even you see, like a press like that, it's hard to establish the right side if you can't shift your weight over in and compress the shoulder. So if the left foot isn't there, you're just left with this really extended right side press that, as you see, doesn't have enough power. He's got to get to the right to get that elbow bent. And he doesn't love the right foot, and he can't get the left up.
He really doesn't like that position.
He's got his right foot on that little jib, but can't shift. It just looks more awkward for him than it did for Slava, and well, Dawn just went completely outside the box.
Yeah. I wonder if there even is a jib on that volume. I don't know if there is.
That could just be a weird shadow, and he's going to try and go way outside the box.
We saw Alberto try
yeah.
this.
Once you've got the zone established, you can climb around it if you think you're capable. But it also shows just the tiniest bit of desperation to be trying something that you know isn't intended, because you shouldn't be standing on the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he really probably didn't feel super close trying it that other way. But I think we'll probably see him try to use the zone for his hand again.
Sort of specific movement fatigue is a thing as well, Chloe. The more you try one move, the more you feel weaker just in that one locked-in position.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's hard when every go you learn the move a little more, but you're also more tired. It's quite hard to kind of space those attempts out right. And that's why it really pays to get the boulders done quick.
Right away. Gregor is going to give us one more. Crowd will pick it up. Can he make this shift into the right shoulder? That's the difference. Gregor Vezonik needs to make some magic happen here. Yeah, back to the press.
Come on, oh.
Oh, just, and it
Yeah, really
shook his
not
shoulder out
liking
every
that.
time.
Shoulder press.
He's going to be favoring, he's walking out favoring that shoulder still. Oh,
Yeah, it
disappointing
looks
from
like
Gregor.
Super physical, like deceptively physical kind of press sequence there.
Yeah, and I love the way you describe that because, of course, we saw it got done a couple different ways, but the position is so dependent that you think, of course, the boulder's physical, but he couldn't even shift across and use the left side to push into the right side. So that's like near the top end of the power scale.
Yeah.
And just getting all the
Arthur
positions
is
right.
Really good technical climber, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him get this one done, but we'll see. It might be really hard. on
Stasa
the
likes
shoulders.
to hop around if given the opportunity. So again, I think she'll be looking forward to getting, once she has the zone, I don't think we'll see a lot of hesitation out of the explosivity.
Smart move from her, establishing the way she did.
Oh my goodness, Don.
Very nice
Arthur.
from Arthur, yeah.
Just, I mean, smooth to stand up into it, almost no dead point even.
Yeah,
Arthur showing
super
you the
good.
difference in sort of technical position and then not
Wow.
even needing to do the jump that we saw Slava do and Dawn.
Both of them giving us a
Oh! Undersold it. And
So
Stasa,
climbing with
meanwhile,
Stasa over there.
yeah, a strong flash. She is stomping boulders. Yeah, off the low foot.
The low foot as well. It looks like either way works really well if you have the kind of confidence standing up to the left hold. So we saw Camilla and Elnaz jump more. Jessie and Stasa and Julija kept the foot, but as long as they go with that confidence, it seems to work pretty well. Yeah, Arthur just looking to kind
Too
of get
confident, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's the type of move where once you're there, you're like, okay, it's working, and as soon as you start to shift, I mean, I'm sure he knows, he's like, oh, I wish I had my right hand higher, a little
Yeah.
closer to this finish, but I think this could have worked, so it's tricky to kind of decide. I wonder if next go we'll see him in a similar position, but then just bump that hand up a little.
Yeah. Or even elect to
dynamically.
palm. Like I looked like he was crimping the space, which
Yeah.
can be
It's
kind of
just a little
trickster's
far,
move.
yeah. Off of the bottom volume, I think the palm is just a little too far, so I think now that he knows the position, he's kind of felt what it's like to be in that corner, he'll be a little more decisive one way or the other. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go for the double palms.
Same.
He did look so good on that
Yeah, he
bottom
opened-
press section.
My goodness, he walked through that like he'd done it 10 times already, which I love. It's a hallmark of technically strong climbers is reading position and knowing they got it right immediately. You saw no second guess, no readjustments. And even, like, I love that.
Yeah, really staying into the wall.
Ooh, a little bit.
Definitely looked harder that time. He's
Trying to get locked in. And
he's got his foot just.
he's got his foot a little higher, but still
Alright, let's
crimping.
see. And he's just gonna take his time a little more. Nice.
So a little press on the way by, but elected to stay with the low crimp.
Yeah, I
Arthur now. Wonderful stuff to top that boulder like that.
Really good. Knew what to expect up there that time. I think had a little more confidence in the feet and in his hip position. Looked really solid. Barely stuck that other move though. I think he's probably very glad
Yeah,
he
had to
held
take a
on
deep
to
breath,
that
I
one.
think.
Yeah.
And then he just here got a little extra push out of the right
Just
hand.
stayed into the hips to the left. Was able to kind of sink over a little bit more with that left foot.
And a half bump.
Yeah, just barely using that other volume. Super nice.
Yeah, climbing a powerful boulder technically, and also showing you, like, I mean, that's max end range, fingertip to fingertip. Excellent stuff from Arturo.
Just like that, boulder number 4.
I know, we're 3 down, 1 to go. Yeah, it goes quick sometimes. So here, let's have a quick look at our results. So for the ladies, Stasa sitting still in front of Camilla and Jessie based on attempts. It's close though, not far enough ahead that you don't want to be careful on the last boulder. And then Julija able to fight for a podium position based on how the other ladies do. Elnaz and Laura, I think, are off of podium positions at this point. And then we have the men is, I mean, my goodness, everyone except Gregor with 2 tops. So
Yeah.
2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3.
Slava just missing that zone on the second boulder. He would have liked to have that one to stay in the game.
That would be a difference. So the
kinda
men's field,
anything
I
is
am not even
possible
going to
over
try
here.
and play a scenario out for you. There's way too much math involved on the men's
We've
side.
got Julija on the wall.
And Julija immediately, like not even
Straight to
having a
that
second
zone.
look.
And Alberto getting the jump done straight away.
Yeah, swinging around on these
Yeah, this boulder looking super interesting.
crazy U-turn holds. Love them.
Like jump down and back
Oh,
up.
look.
Very cool.
Oh,
Oh,
Julija trying to get that inside out.
there's another powerful boulder over there for the
Hands
women.
on hips. Like, brush that for me, and that one, and that one, and that one.
She made quick work to the zone, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see her rest quite a bit. She's really yearning for the top there. Alberto is looking to do
Showing
funky
you.
move on this one. I think we'll see something pretty cool over here.
The launch out of this position is a bit unnerving the first time you try it, and then just because you've done it once doesn't mean it's not unnerving the other.
Yes! I love when the setters play with direction like that for the jumps. It's really cool. We saw him stop the first time on that dual text hold, and now that he kind of has felt the position and the swing, I think using that swing straight away is a lot easier to generate, and this one goes straight up.
Yeah, it's the playground
cool.
boulders. I love it. I know people love to say parkour. I think that does a disservice to parkour. If you watch parkour, those guys are next level. I like to think of it as sort of playground boulders, so swinging, jumping, exploring movement patterns, what's capable, what's possible. Julija
love it.
swinging in. But he's got to psych himself up every time.
It. Jump, jump, jump. Yes.
And it's still a Cordo press. Alberto, Ginés, López
Bringing the
getting it
left
right.
hand up to kind of press that time. And tricky finish move. That was only the zone, so I'd imagine that this last move has got some trick to it as
This
well.
would be an
Yeah.
expensive move to be one in the zone as the second last hold. This will take some
It
effort.
looks like
Oh my
he's
goodness.
doing well to take his time here and kind of feel out the position. He's looking to get his left foot down. Nice.
And
Nice patience.
the position of that big hold, it presses your hips away from the wall. You want to be glued, and that's pushing you out. You
Yeah,
can
this-
see. Oh, the left foot.
It's in just that position where the left hand is a little further than you can reach. You gotta give it a little pop, but it's hard to tell how far over you need to go. You don't want a barn door either, so.
Yeah, everything there's basically everything's setting you up to be uncomfortable the whole way through. And then wasting no time, jumping back on. This is one of those boulders where you could probably get on and hang out. So maybe he's banking on this +1 if he doesn't get through it.
Yeah, that's what I'd assume. I think psych himself up for this jump, and if it doesn't work, he'll probably try it again. Yeah, I would imagine he might rest and give it one more solid go. It's a big jump coming back.
And then a lot to control. You saw the left hand had to come out and press behind him. A lot of things happening.
Yeah.
And I heard a cheer. We don't see Julija.
Yeah,
I
if
think
we're seeing
maybe
Julija on the wall. There
okay,
we
one
go.
last try.
Alberto, jump. Oh.
Trying to get the swing back. Julija kind of got diminishing returns from the first try. She didn't get back up to the crimp.
Yeah, she'll want to do it now. She wants the limit. Last goes from both of our climbers here. Oh, that
slip
foot
from
just
there.
picking.
And Alberto
Getting back on the wall
if
with a
she
second
did,
one.
that's exciting. Let's see what the judges would have to say. Alberto and then Julija. I mean, sometimes you
Very
jump back
nice.
on, but you're out of gas. But taking it down, full effort, last boulder, you leave nothing behind.
Yeah, I think it's the fun of the comp. You know, it's the last boulder. You're not saving yourself for anything. Might as well. Would
Throw
have been
yourself
quite
at it.
impressive
It
to
would
get
have been.
back up there.
And Alberto
only getting that
one to
jump
get
done
it.
once.
Sort of hard to repeat, maybe. It's definitely not. There's some moves that once you do them repeatedly, and there's some where you think, I got away with that. I don't know if I can repeat it.
Yeah, it looked like quite a big jump when he did it the first time, so I can imagine it's a hard one.
Slava.
Oh, it's opting to
He's
stop.
gonna...
Looks really hard to control the swing.
Oh my goodness.
Using his height really well there.
Fundamentally different method. Slava. Wow.
For someone who claims to be primarily a rock climber, he's killing all these coordination slabby moves.
And he's a little bit lankier than Alberto, so he might be more
He might
comfortable.
be able to reach. I don't think he will.
There's a press and a pop required.
Do a little pop, maybe even catch the toe. Really exciting finish.
Laura going up right side only, where Julija had gone all the way left to the zone.
Trying to get those points for the zone.
God, the dual text. I mean, just look how uncomfortable that position is to get out of. You could stay here all day, but you cannot leave.
Yeah, Laere getting the zone.
Nice work.
Getting over there, he's finally popping.
Slava. No! Oh! What more do I need to do is what that expression says. Both hands on the finish.
Oh, Laere really getting in there.
Wow.
Opting to press pretty differently from Julija, but looking really solid.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a top here. Wow.
Yes, not enough to do to change much position, but you love to leave a calm getting through a boulder like that, locking a top down.
Yeah,
Nice
she looked
work.
really solid, was able to get into that press really well, and then was quite close to the wall when she was crimping that one.
Yeah,
I
Laura's the
don't
kind
even
of
think
climber.
she used that left foot. Yeah, we saw Julija with the right hand low and the left foot high, and Laere opting for the other way, kind of pressing with the left hand, right foot out. Looked to work much better for her.
Laura's one of those climbers that if once she's got her fingers down on a crimp,
But yeah,
she's
she
not
won't let
coming
go.
off. She does not let go. All right.
Super strong climbing from her. See if Slava can do this again. I think that's a good. I think that'll be a good method for him. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
be surprised if we saw him up at the top again.
And it's one of those moves where, I mean, the root setters have given you a bit of a window, and what he's doing is just as difficult as what Alberto was trying. So even though he's slowing it down, he's still got to go back and press on a dual text. It's not comfortable.
Yeah,
so.
he needs to be in the corner just enough to not have to wait the dual text too much.
Oh dear.
Ay.
Just gonna lose a little bit of skin along your shins. Try not to let that get in your head too much.
Replay of that one.
A little plinko
got
on the way
whole body
down.
on that one.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. Yeah, he knows what the top feels like now. He knows what the finish hold feels like, and kind of that position was a little bit more finicky than he maybe expected. So I think we'll see some kind of adjustment with the pacing.
And yeah, maybe
this
a
last
commitment,
move.
to just press instead of trying to go so slowly is just get set up to be able to pop out of it.
Maybe he'll be a little more intentional switching the feet.
Slava
as he
within
goes over.
reach. Within reach.
Oh!
Oh my goodness.
I think he'll
So close twice. Both hands on the finish.
so close.
You do not get
Yeah, you
any
can't get much
closer.
closer than that.
And it tells you how bad the finish hold is that he was
Yeah.
essentially matched.
I think wishing he had that right foot where it just comes up and over. If it had been down, I think it would have stopped him enough, but it's even more coordinated, even more tricky.
And jumping with a low foot is weird because you might drag it too early.
Yeah.
And I think he just thought, I'll squeeze more this time and not carry my momentum all the way through. And so fractions of degrees away, but excellent climbing from Slava. He should be very pleased with the round that he's put down.
Definitely. I think we have Slav next on this boulder. Yeah, he's a little bit shorter, so the jump is maybe going to feel a little far, but also super good at coordination moves. I would love to see him on the top of this boulder because I think he could definitely get something done there. Elnaz is so powerful and strong. I wouldn't be surprised if if she got something done here as well.
Yeah, she's really good at shifting between positions in control for sure.
Yeah, super strong.
I love Slav. The other guys sort of stood in backwards, and he's jumped in to spin back around.
No issues getting in the zone for Elnaz. Let's see if she tries to press out, opting for the way Julija was doing it.
Oh, what is Slav trying here? No way.
Oh,
No way.
that would be great. If he gets the right
If
ball.
he gets the hand up, Slav Kirov, unable
That
to
was
climb
so-
out. That was very
Looked
close.
pretty close. I wonder if he'll try that again or not. It looked like if he got the right hand just a little higher, might have actually been enough to keep him into the wall. Elnaz not loving that press.
No, kind of made a liar out of us there.
Yeah.
And
So
this,
he
look at
won't
that hip.
have gotten any zone for that though. So I wonder if he'll try that again or not.
Yeah,
It
you
is
need to be
quite
confident.
close.
Yeah,
It's
he was
quite
quite close. But just the hip angle, his
Yeah.
knee was behind his shoulder.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I would need to see my chiropractor in the morning. But as you say, interesting. Will he try that again? Should he go secure a zone? Because if he falls off, going to the finish for 4 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's not enough to climb past the zone. You need to establish the zone. You can't just sort of get further on the boulder.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll put a toe on instead this time, so he can pull himself into the wall just a little bit.
No,
Staying on that heel.
getting wrapped over. I mean, what's the end game
Really
here?
fighting. Got his
Oh, he
hand
did get
up.
it.
Oh, it's looking
Slav
good.
Kirov looks to be locked in position. Can he get out of this right? Oh my goodness.
He's just trying to see if he can shift.
He's
that
got to let
foot.
go with one hand.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh my, it looks like it needs to be the left hand to come up, but the left hand is doing most of the work to keep him on the boulder.
Yeah, it looks like if he could just shift his heel to a toe, it might be enough to be able to take the left hand off.
And that's going to be exciting. All right,
Elnaz trying that same press again, opting for the heel up. Yeah, it's kind of a funny stack of holds there. You're not sure which ones are blocking, which ones are more meant to be used. It looks like she's got enough
goodness.
to take a hand off.
It does. It looks like she should be able to just reach out, but the angle, I think that what doesn't come across on the screen is that it's sort of, it tips away and to the right. So
Yeah.
it looks like clean angles maybe to you and like at home, but the wall angle is not really doing her any favors. Slav is sticking with it.
Very intentional about sticking the foot up straight away that time.
Yeah, and we saw the
Super
bendiness.
physical.
Right, we saw
Here
him on
he gets
boulder.
the toe up.
Yeah, we saw him on boulder 2 get the
Oh.
high heel. So you know he's bendy, and he's gonna throw it out.
Yeah, that is hanging on to that dual text one for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kind of stick to that heel method. He was quite close with it.
And I would say, I mean, the zone is a difference maker at
The
this
zone
point.
is a big one for if he can get that zone. If he can get that zone, it'll put him up in first for now. But he
And keep
did
him in
look
podium
a lot
hunts, yeah.
closer.
My goodness, this is it. Slav Kirov, time is gonna run out.
All right.
Now, take a breather maybe. Elnaz getting one last try. Is she gonna stay with the beta that she's been with? Oh,
All right.
Slav is gonna go
Slava
all
tip.
in.
Elnaz looking super comfortable to the zone still. I wonder if she'll
Is she
press.
changing? Yes, she's changing
he's
her approach.
fighting.
Can he,
Really,
the right hand not enough. Slav, a rueful wave to the crowd.
Elnaz sticking with that heel. Yeah, this crimp is really far to go to without being able to change the right hand into a palm. I think.
It's a deep lock off on a sloper.
really
It's
deep,
not
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
And the rock over isn't there because of that. The sort of foot is blocked. So Elnaz getting.
Yeah,
kind
she
of-
was looking for a knee bar there, but it didn't look like she was able to get as much out of that as she wanted.
Yeah, got shut down just a little bit by sort of sequencing in position. And as you were saying, maybe if she could have flipped the right hand to a palm, it would change all the angles enough. But you can
Yeah,
only
but
get
the
so
foot
high
is
on your
quite
wrist
close
fingers.
from there, yeah.
Yeah, that's as we say, that's a small box. Hands
Yeah.
and feet very close together, trying to generate some power and momentum. And the crimp is quite far away. You saw Julija getting twisted out and then
Yeah.
even being able to not control it on the return, and you're not jumping to it, that's for sure.
Don's a little taller. I think he might opt for Alberto's method.
Camilla Moroni,
Super powerful.
flash attempt on the last boulder.
Oh, Don going
Sort of static.
almost static.
I mean, is it doing you any favors to go static when you have to swing
Yeah,
back
it seemed
anyway?
like
Oh
he
no.
might opt for.
Oh my
I wonder
goodness.
if they
talked
chatted
about
about it.
Yep. Someone said, hey, I wonder if. Oh, look at this Camilla off the low foot.
Yeah, Camilla opted
Can
for
she
what
hold the
Julija
swing?
did. Oh,
Not quite.
Paul's getting the foot over.
I think she knows that was a mistake. Just a little slip. She kind of maybe, I mean, relaxed is the wrong word, but she sagged out just a shade too far.
She let her body come out of the wall just a little bit. Same method as Julija though, but able to stay into the wall just a little more, have a little more power in the right shoulder. Dom really got his hips over super far left, looked quite good there. But we saw Slav have his left foot turned out a little bit more. I think it helped him kind of lean over that one.
Yeah, just change the position just enough.
Let's see, it seems like he could almost jump to the zone straight from that press that he was in earlier. Might
There
see
we
him
go.
here. Oh.
Oh my goodness, option. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
kinda looking to go back to his original starting position almost.
Just
Oh.
working through, and now Camilla
maybe getting a little nervous here, knows she can do the boulder.
maybe a tiny bit of fatigue at the end of a round, a little bit nervous. Currently sitting at the top, so that's maybe she's thinking about that. Like, you don't want to lose a podium. This is crazy how long. I mean, it's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah, the one hand is pretty impressive. I think we'll see him kind of stop in that position.
Yeah,
and trying to
I would
stay
think
in
so.
that
The way
corner.
Slava was able to hold that
Yeah.
tall position.
Oh, Camilla, maybe getting a little frustrated here.
That body, that hands on hips, kind of stalking around.
Oh no, he goes back to the heel.
All right, Don. Oh, flirting with the toe.
Yeah. He got his hips over really well last time, but it looked super physical to rock over. Oh, maybe he could rock the other way.
Oh, wow. And he's going to go into this position is going to be wild.
That looks
1
super
minute.
physical. There's always that doubt as well of like, am I trapped right now? Oh, Camilla up there. Looking to stay into the wall until the foot comes up.
Just has to get that right.
Oh yeah.
Looks strong here.
Wants to be confident
Camilla
going to
Moroni.
finish.
Yes. Wow. A kind of success out of what looked like it was going to be a fail on this boulder.
Yeah, super kind of stuck almost under the crimp a little bit. You're wondering if it was going to be kind of hard to come out of that position, and she went really confidently, super strong to the
core
finish.
to that crimp, I mean, it's basically a plank position to not sag away at all. And then here, as you say,
That right arm
just-
at 90 degrees.
boom. Love that.
Super strong there.
Way to sort of gather herself. As you said, maybe a little frustration, maybe a little fatigue. In her last try, best try, was able to top the boulder.
Last go for Dawn.
All right, crowd, you can maybe
Yeah,
hear them in the
finally a
background
little
getting
rest
wound
there.
up. A little Zen pose. This is going to be a moment. Don van Laere. Oh, he's a rueful shake of the head. Do I have it in me? Let's find out. Maybe going for the zone this time. No!
Yeah, I just lost the hands a little bit there.
Yeah, you're sort of swinging to create the coordination. You've only got so many swings in you before
Yeah,
you run out of grip.
It's really hard when you're swinging like that to time it right. You often want one more swing or just to get it just right, but the hands are sliding.
You have to talk yourself into letting go.
Yeah, you've got to be like, this is the one, because the next time I'm going to go backwards, my hands are going to go out in front of me.
I think I liken it to, because I mean, this kind of move we've seen a few times in World Cups. If you're ever playing on the swing set as a kid and you're like, I'm going to swing and jump off, it takes you, your stomach comes up into your throat, you're like, okay, I'll jump off on the next one. And you
Yeah.
swing back, and okay, but you're getting bigger and more swing, and the
Yeah,
risk
yeah.
is going, every time you choose not to let go, the risk is going up. That's this kind of feeling
Your
right
wrist,
there.
and here there's a chance both hands fly out in front of you.
At
and
the
you
same
Go
time.
face first.
Just a reminder, a good
Jesse's-
look at the steepness at the start of this
Yeah,
boulder.
absolutely.
It's taken some gas.
I wouldn't be surprised if she made quick work of this one, but we've had a really powerful round so far. It looks
Yes.
quite hard. And Gregor made really quick work of the coordination earlier.
But he's sort of now looking like he's gonna go. Oh, look at this from Jessie Pilz.
Jesse got her knee up there, a little stuck with the knee.
Coming off
Oh,
that
Gregor's
lower foot.
got
Gregor
the
looking,
right palm. Oh.
did get the toe over.
All right, let's see if Jesse can get that right foot up.
Can't really unlock this.
It's a hand
She's on
jam.
a knee, right? She
She's
can't
got a
jump out of
hand
the
jam
knee.
under there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the alpine knee is great until it's not.
yeah.
So she was on that crimp forever, but
She
you
was on
can't
there
jump
for
off
a
your knee.
while. Not really, no.
It's
Yeah, but she got that hand jam in there to move the foot up, which is
tactics.
really nice. And then it looks like that.
And then but
Hands
that's
blew
so
right
crazy.
as the
She was
foot
on the
came
crimp for a
off.
very long time.
Yeah. Gregor almost jumped straight to the zone there. Yeah, definitely tricky in Gregor's position. Do you keep trying to jump over left and rock over the ball, or do you try to get that zone? Because for now, I think only Alberto and Slava have the zone, even though Slav was maybe the closest.
First try. Oh, there we go. I like it. I like the commitment to sort of, as intended, even though it's not your favorite thing. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of just sort of digging in and being like, all right, let's do what needs to be done.
For sure.
Still lots of time. Jessie Pilz.
Let's see.
Gregor into the jump.
Nice.
Yes.
Good
Love
work
it.
from Gregor.
All right, Gregor. What can you do now? Jessie Pilz going
Going right hand
Right
to the
hand.
crimp this time.
still,
It's gonna be quite hard to unwind, I think. Going to the finish.
but
Oh,
does it with style. Gets a little toe jam
No
maybe on the left
problem.
side. Jessie
super
Pilz.
strong work from Jesse.
Oh, Gregor measuring, realizing he needs a little bit of pop.
Okay, let's see if he switches that foot or goes for it like Slava did. Tries just to hold the hands to the finish.
Come on, Gregor. Oh, look at this. I love this. A little crowd engagement. Yeah, a smile. I don't know that I love the right foot. No way. No, I don't think he's got it. He's smiling. Is it worth a pulled hammy?
Lose the foot. Ay, ay, ay.
Clock is starting to be a factor.
Yeah.
If he doesn't top, he's going to be having a huge rush to get back on the start of the boulder. Gregor Vezonik, fate is in his hands. Just go. Oh my goodness. You got to wonder if he did that immediately, if it would have been different. You see
Jesse
unwinding with
just
complete
owns that
control.
right crimp.
Here we go. Gregor Vezonik. He's probably perched on the start while we watch this
I'm
replay.
sure.
Getting crowd hyped up. Oh my goodness, he was up here for
he
so
really took
long.
his time trying to make a good decision. It looks like he tried to catch a right toe on the
Yeah.
inside there. Yeah.
Just couldn't quite make it go.
Oh,
and
I'm guessing he maybe fell off the jump.
Just missed the
there.
jump.
Oh, that's a bummer. I would have loved to see another go up there from him.
Yeah, he put everything into the top of that boulder.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Arthur get this one done. So
yeah, just unable to make the jump that time.
we've got one more shot to see if someone can do this boulder.
Yeah. So this
Meanwhile, I
is,
think Jesse took a few too many attempts to get ahead of Camilla. So yeah, Sasha will be looking to top. She's got a few tries, but
she's got room.
Yeah,
she's got
3-4
room.
tries to get this one done.
Her fate
Definitely
is in her
capable
hands.
of doing this boulder, so we'll see if she can stay in it.
And Artur can put himself at the top of the podium. We're the top here.
Yeah,
And
looking
even,
kind
oh my
of
goodness,
funny
we're
at
just
the
doing math
start
on the
there.
fly. I think Artur with a zone will also put himself in position to be at the top of the podium. So
Yeah.
fate in his hands, and Sasha looking
Sasha's
super
just
confident.
owning that press.
Wow.
Let's see if she has any troubles getting the right foot up. We saw Jessie get the knee. Nice.
Yeah,
no
I'm loving this.
problems
No
there.
problem. The inside-out match.
Super strong work from Sasha.
Stasa is going to be your back-to-back Dock Masters champion, and did it by just absolutely stomping
Yeah, I
through the
think she
finals
dropped
boulders.
only one attempt, and it was just on that second boulder, the dual tech's little slip, but otherwise perfect climbing from Stasha today.
Artur going through the...
So going for this press method. Oh,
so
I think
confident.
if he knew that all he needed was the zone, he might not have opted for that method, but
Look at this sort of the mobility to do the splits, and then the
once
confidence.
she had that foot up, she was not letting go.
Really making it look
Strong work from Stasha.
like she had done it before. Just the confidence in each decision can be the difference. We saw a couple of the women earlier kind of go back left and then right and then kind of shuffle a hand and shuffle a foot, and Stasa just this one done.
Yeah.
Artur, yes, establishing the zone. He doesn't know it,
Super solid
but
there.
that has put him at the top of the podium. I'd love to see a top here, Chloe. What do we think? He is
I
tall.
think he's definitely capable. We saw him kind of take his time on the other boulder. Here it looks like you do need to be a little quick. You might be able to reach it, but I don't think so.
The crowd is slowly picking up in the background. They would love to see a top of this boulder. We saw Slava get closer. No, he just dropped it.
He's got time though compared to the other guys.
Tons of time.
Looking really similar to Slava up there. Kind of got both hands on there.
I thought he had it.
Held it, and then just slips out at the very end.
I was just ready to say we got ourselves a top because he's so slow, but he shifted his feet out.
Yeah, I think it looks like that hold is just good enough with the left hand that they kind of hit it and then have the confidence to just kind of jump into the right hand, and just as they swing back, it slides out from under them.
Woo. Spicy. I saw him brushing the top of that left disc, which maybe he's going to go back now that he's established his zone. He's going to go try and climb out the left side.
I think that was so close, I'd be surprised to see him do something different. I mean, he was real. Now that he knows what that finish hold feels like, I think usually that helps to kind of figure out the timing. Oh,
wow. Just a little
just
bit too
falling out from
exuberant
the
on the
wall
jump.
a little bit.
Clock is winding down. I mean, it goes by so quickly. We're 30 seconds away from the finish of the 2024 Dock Masters. What do we have from Artur? Yes, a little more spring.
This will be his last go up there. It would be really exciting to see this one get done.
And also a benefit of the 4+ is that
Yeah,
we
he
get
can
to see him
take his
finish the
time
boulder. We
here.
get to see him take his time. If he can finish the boulder, we're going to get to see it. Can Artur take us home in good style by topping the last boulder? No! It does not get any closer than that, but that is your winner. Artur, by getting that zone, is going to stay ahead of Alberto Ginés López.
Slav.
So let's just
Very
look at how
nice.
close this is. Getting shifted over.
We zijn aan het einde gekomen van deze wedstrijd. De klimmers hebben gewonnen. Vonden jullie het een beetje
Finding that position, getting locked in.
It looked like he almost kind of rushed as the beeps were going. I wonder if he just kind of got excited or
Got in his head a little bit, maybe.
maybe he forgot about the 4+ for a second there. I know that's happened to me at a competition like this.
And right there, it almost feels like if you keep a toe hook, you would be fine. But
Yeah, not quite as close as the try before, but
excellent climbing. Artur Ternant is going to be your men's champion. Alberto López in second and Slav Kirov in third. On the women's side, it's going to be Stasa, back-to-back Dock Masters champion, Camilla Moroni and Jessie Pilz. All three of your podium, the only three to top four tops.
Yeah, really nice separation there for both groups. I mean, the men was quite close, but we kind of got tops on different boulders.
Yeah, a little bit of a mixture. And then, yeah, the scatter plot version of the men's. They said 2 really hard boulders, and they did. They were so close to getting unlocked. I mean, we got the result we were looking for. It would have been amazing to see that 4th boulder get topped. It really would have been cool. But we saw tops, you know, on the other 3. So good stuff. I'm going to head down and interview the winners. So hopefully they haven't strayed too far from the edge of the mats. And then I'll run down, interview them, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. So just give us a second. We'll hear from the winners.
Dat is zeker niet iets wat je fout wil zeggen. Ja, normaal zien we het niet uit wat er hier gebeurt op het podium. Er wordt een heel zeiltje hier neer geplaatst. Je weet al hoe laat het straks wordt. Dus als je hier vooraan wil zitten, kijk je een heerlijke champagne show. Waar is het weer vast? Verder. Ik moet even ruimte maken, hoor, want er wordt hier van alles gebouwd. Yes, ik heb uitzaken. Okay, let's start with the prize ceremony for tonight, Dock Masters 2024.
Zijn jullie klaar om onze finalisten het podium op te roepen? Onze top 3. We beginnen natuurlijk met de dames. Zijn jullie een beetje klaar voor die fantastische dripsters?
So, yes, the ladies for tonight. I will just keep talking English. This is an international event right here. On the 3rd place from Austria, Jessica Pilz. Yes. Wow. Enjoy this moment. On the 2nd place, from Italy, Camilla Moroni.
Camilla.
Congrats. And last but not least, the same winner last year, Stasa Gejo.
Yeah, she really crashed the competition tonight. Wow! Woo.
Yes, people, please give it up for these 3 ladies.
And when I say give it up, I mean give it up for these 3 ladies!
Yes, they deserve this stage. All right, you can go back to the seats. We will call you again.
And now it's my honor to announce the best male climbers of the night. On 3rd place, I present to you Slav Kirov! Hey, Slav! so close on that last boulder. And then a very nice third prize, man. Congrats. And second, all the way from Spain, Alberto Ginés López!
A wonderful performance.
And then, first place, just barely missed that last one. Arthur Ternant! And these are the Dog Masters of 2024. Our three, Slav, Alberto, and Arthur. Give it up for the best of Dog Masters 24.
And we want to have another picture with all the athletes, all the masters tonight.
Just all the athletes, you can get on stage now. Because, yeah, you know what we're gonna do. You know what we're gonna do. Get on there, Stasa. And while we come, just bring your colleagues on as well. I think we need everyone on stage. Oh no, don't go away, my friends.
We want all the climbers.
Everyone.
All the climbers on stage.
Yeah, but then everyone we can get. Yeah, Julia's here as well. Alberto's here as well.
Laura, Elnaz,
Please.
Julija, Jessica, Camilla, Stasa, everyone on stage. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Also for the men's, Gregor, Dom, Slava, Slav,
Please come here.
Alberto, and Arthur. Everyone on stage. This will be the champagne shower, ladies and gents.
Some instructions as to how to open the bottle. And I think we're ready for that picture, ready for the champagne. Julia,
Are you
probably
ready?
best go out of the way now.
Photo. Yes.
Woo!
Ladies and gents, these are the masters of